Chapter 630. Wang Lan dove into the depths of the ocean. It wasn't easy to find a 700-year-old shipwreck within 300 kilometers. Wang Lan held Jiang Sinyu's hand and flashed through the water like a ghost. The water demon's ability was indeed a bug in the ocean. Every time she flashed, she could cover a distance of 1 kilometer. Every time she flashed, her psychic power could cover a range of 3 kilometers. It wouldn't take her long to scan a 300-kilometer radius. After all, Vienna wasn't a small object. The battle behind them was getting farther and farther away. Wang Lan kept flashing through the water with Jiang Xinyu. Found it. Wang Lan, whose eyes were slightly closed, suddenly opened her eyes. She looked over and saw a luxurious cruise ship lying peacefully at the bottom of the sea not far away. Wang Lan's figure flashed as she made to dash for Vienna. All of a sudden, Wang Lan felt a sense of danger. Wang Lan hurriedly hugged Jiang Xinyu, and a holy light shield appeared around her. With a loud boom, Wang Lan was sent flying backward by the powerful impact. A figure flew past Wang Lan and dashed toward the shipwreck. Angel! Wang Lan gnashed his teeth. All of a sudden, Wang Lan waved her hand. Astral power surged out, and a red magic circle appeared around the sunken Vienna. Lava surge! Boom! Lava gushed out of the magic circle and swallowed Vienna in an instant. The angel, who was rushing toward Vienna, stopped dead in her tracks. Seeing Wang Lan destroy Vienna, her eyes were filled with rage. Boom! A wave of air swept toward the shipwreck. Yulia rode the wind and waves as she approached. Her terrifying aura stirred up the water and caused it to twist violently. Facing Wang Lan alone, Angel still had the strength to fight, but if she had to face Wang Lan and Yulia together, she definitely wouldn't be able to win. Humph! The angel snorted coldly. His body distorted and disappeared. Yulia came to Wang Lan's side. Her face paled when she saw the lava erupting before her eyes. You destroyed Vienna? If we can't let the angel get it, we might as well destroy it, Wang Lan said with a smile. But, the Mask of the Mystic Moon is a divine artifact. Even though it's not a divine battle artifact, but, it can't be destroyed so easily, right? Actually, this is just Takashi Hoshi's mimicry, Wang Lan said jokingly. In a flash, he appeared in front of the gushing magma and raised his hand. The magma slowly parted, revealing the undamaged Vienna. Yulia heaved a sigh of relief. That scared me to death. This is a divine weapon of the divine religion. If it's destroyed, we'll be heartbroken for a long time. The three of them entered Vienna. The ship was huge and had 3 floors. After searching for 3 hours, Wang Lan finally found the Mask of the Mystic Moon in a metal box. The Mask of the Mystic Moon looked like it was carved out of white jade. There was only half of the mask, and it was shaped like a butterfly with its wings open. It was cold to the touch, and there was an indescribable feeling. Is this the Mask of the Mystic Moon? Yulia looked at it and nodded. It contains God's power. This is something a fake Mask of the Mystic Moon doesn't have. The Mask of the Mystic Moon, that has been sealed for 2,000 years, has finally appeared. The 3 of them returned to the surface of the sea. The surviving Takashi Hoshi army from White Eagle rushed out of the sea and boarded the ship. Wang Lan rushed over as soon as she got the clue, but the White Eagle state beat her to it. There was only one explanation. The White Eagle state had already obtained accurate information before and had asked him to go to Babylon to find the diary to delay time. This is really White Eagle's way of doing things. Ignoring White Eagle's fleet, the 3 of them soared into the sky and flew back to the headquarters of the International Security Committee. This is the Mask of the Mystic Moon? What is it made of? It looks like jade, but it feels like ice. Isn't it cold to wear it on your face? Leo asked curiously as he touched the Mask of the Mystic Moon. No one knows what the Mask of the Mystic Moon is made of. Just like the Holy Grail and the Bible of Beginnings, even the most sophisticated instruments can't analyze the structure of their materials. Yulia looked at the Mask of the Mystic Moon on the table with a hint of desire in her eyes. What do we do next? The angel is causing trouble all over the world just to find the mask of the mystic moon. Now that the mask of the mystic moon is with the International Security Committee, what do you think she will do? Come and snatch it? That's good news. Leo smiled. Put the mask of the mystic moon in the underground vault. All the S-rank independent teams will suspend their missions and stay at the headquarters. As long as the angel comes, we will take her down. I don't think the angel is that stupid, right? Whether she is stupid or not depends on how important the mask of the mystic moon is to her. Wang Lan and the other agents of the International Security Committee stayed at the base, waiting for the angel to come. However, after 5 or 6 days, not only did the angel not come, but she also disappeared without a trace. However, Wang Lan and the others were not in a hurry. The angel was wearing down their patience. When the International Security Committee relaxed, it would be time for the angel to be sold again. On the afternoon of the 6th day, Wang Lan was playing Fight the Landlord with Yulia and the others in the room when his phone suddenly rang. Wang Lan casually flipped it open and took a look. She frowned slightly. The source of the message was an unknown number, but the content of the message was the word "Save me." Who is it? Wang Lan quickly searched through his mind for someone who knew his number and could send the word "Save me," but it didn't seem to be him. Ding dong! At this time, Jiang Sinyu's phone suddenly rang. Jiang Sinyu picked up the phone and looked. Save me? Who is it? You received it too? Wang Lan's expression became serious. To know both his and Jiang Sinyu's numbers at the same time, this person must be very important. Wang Lan quickly called back, but it was a busy signal. Jiang Sinyu also called back, but the number was out of service. The strangeness of this phone call made Wang Lan feel slightly uneasy. Wang Lan picked up the phone and dialed his aunt's number. His aunt's number was successfully connected. Wang Lan asked and found that his aunt was safe. If it was not his aunt, then who could it be? Just as he hung up the phone, Jiang Sinyu's phone rang. It's Xiangwen, Jiang Sinyu said as she picked up the phone. Hello, Xiangwen. Sinyu, are you and Wang Lan okay? We're fine. What's wrong? I was shopping with my girlfriend when I suddenly received a message. The message only had the word "Save me." After that, I called Cece. She also received the message and went to check the source of the message. I was worried, so I called to confirm that you guys are fine. All 4 of us received the message? Wang Lan frowned. If it was only one person, the range of the message would be very large. However, Wang Lan and the other 3 received the message at the same time, so the range was very small. Rather than sending it to Wang Lan and the other 3, it was more like sending it to the Raging Desolate Squad. Ever since the Raging Desolate Squad was formed, Wang Lan and the other 3's numbers had changed. Therefore, there were not many people who had all 4's numbers, and someone who could think of the 4 in a time of crisis must have an extraordinary relationship with them. However, apart from confirming his aunt's safety, Wang Lan also confirmed Yu Ruoyun's safety. Yu Ruoyun was also fine. Who could it be? Soon, Wang Lan's phone rang again. It was a call from Cece. Wang Lan, I can only trace that the message was sent from Yunhai Province. As for the specific location, I can't trace it. This phone number is an international number. After the message was sent, we lost contact immediately. Got it. Yunhai Province. It just so happens that I have the number of the director of Yunhai Province's Heavenly Sword Bureau. After Wang Lan hung up, he immediately dialed the number of the director of Yunhai Province's Heavenly Sword Bureau. The phone rang for a long time before it was picked up. On the other end of the line, there was a loud siren and a lot of noise. Obviously, something had happened. Chief Che, what's going on? Why is it so noisy over there? Wang Lan, you're too well informed. It hasn't even been 10 minutes since something happened over here, and you already know? Know what? No, I'm calling you to ask you to check a number. What happened over there? Just 10 minutes ago, 2 Takashi Hoshi experts were fighting, causing an explosion that covered more than 2 kilometers. Fortunately, the explosion happened in the suburbs, but the aftermath of the explosion and the flying rocks caused quite a bit of chaos in the city. I just arrived at the scene of the incident. Oh my God, a mountain was blown up. The remnant astral power fluctuations can even suppress the astral power of our brothers at the galaxy realm. The explosion covered an area of 2 kilometers? Wang Lan's face suddenly became serious. This is the level of destruction caused by the collision of astral soul realm Takashi Hoshi. Are you sure it wasn't one of the 5 emperors? I'm sure it wasn't. By the way, our satellite broke through and took a picture. Do you want me to send it to you? Send it to me. Wang Lan wouldn't care about a astral soul realm battle in other places, but Wang Lan couldn't ignore it in the Jade State. If it was one of the 5 emperors, Wang Lan would care about it. If it wasn't one of the 5 emperors, then the situation would be even more serious. The picture was quickly sent to him, but the satellite image wasn't clear. Maybe the target was moving at high speed. But even if it was just a blurry picture, Wang Lan recognized the person at a glance. An angel! An angel! Jiang Xinyu quickly came over and looked at the phone. An angel? Yulia put down the cards in her hand and looked confused. An angel went to the Jade State? No, Xinyu, we need to go back immediately. Okay. Before returning, Wang Lan needed to report to the International Security Committee. When Hua Jianfeng and the others learned that the angel had just appeared in the Jade State, they were also surprised. Wasn't the angel looking for the Black Moon Mask all over the world? Now that the Black Moon Mask was here, why did she go to the Jade State? That. Wang Lan, if you go back to the Jade State, what if you are attacked by the angel here? There is only one super expert in the headquarters, Yulia. Jade State is guarded by the 5 emperors, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? This might be a diversion. There are 7 superheroes in the White Eagle State, but they can't do anything when the angel destroys them. I left a spatial coordinate in the camp, so if the headquarters is attacked, I can rush back in an instant. It's fine. Then, I wish you all the best. It's best if you can get rid of the angel in the Jade State, then we won't have to worry about it here. After asking for leave, Wang Lan directly took Jiang Xinyu's hand. In an instant, the two disappeared from the conference room and appeared in the dormitory in Shanghai. Teleportation. So convenient, Leo said enviously. Chapter 631. In the city of Heavenly Province, a cute girl was sitting on a pedestrian's chair. She had a sweet smile on her face as she looked at the young man squeezing into the crowd. After a long time, the young man returned to the girl, sweating profusely. No wonder it's the place where celebrities check in. There are so many people. Why are you smiling? I like to see you pretend to be an ordinary person, the girl said happily, holding a hot snack. What do you mean by pretending to be an ordinary person? Takashi Hoshi can't be an ordinary person? What can I do if I don't pretend to be an ordinary person? I rushed in, unleashed my astral power, and shocked the people around me. Then, I walked to the front of the stall. I'll take all the snacks today. If you dare to say no, I'll kill you and not bury you. If you do that, I'll have to sing a song tomorrow. Pfft. Although Su Xiangwen knew that his little girlfriend was probably faking her shyness, Su Xiangwen still took a bite out of it. Suddenly, his eyes widened. Seeing that the atmosphere is so good, can we? Beep, 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 his phone suddenly rang. Su Xiangwen took out his phone and looked at it. Then, his face changed. He thought it was just a routine check. As long as everyone was fine, it would be fine. After all, how could 2 words affect the vacation? But he didn't expect Wang Lan to send an order so soon. The vacation of the Raging Desolate team is cancelled. Gather in Yunhai Province. What's wrong? The girls seem to have a hunch. You are leaving? I'm sorry. Su Xianwen felt guilty. He had promised to travel around the countries, but he had just arrived in Shu. He hadn't even gone to Qin. The girl's eyes reddened. She slowly stood up and walked to Su Xianguan. Suddenly, she slapped Su Xianguan on the head. What are you sorry for? My man is going to save the world. What's the point of staying with me? You can continue when you're back from your mission. Go now. You'll be punished if you delay the mission. Cough, cough, cough. Okay, I'll go now. Be careful. There are many bad guys out there. I say, are you stupid? Have you forgotten that I'm also a galaxy expert? Unsafe? Is there really a city in the Jade State that can make a celestial river realm cultivator feel unsafe? Alright, I'm leaving. Going abroad? No, it's in China. If it's fast, it can be done in a week. Let's go. I'll send you to the airport. Sioux City, Jiangnan Restaurant. In the busy kitchen, the sound of chopping vegetables was like a symphony. When CSCC returned to Sioux City, she spent most of her time helping out at her brother's restaurant. Ever since her brother opened Jiangnan Lu, the family's life had improved a lot. His father's eyes were no longer fixated on money. His mother resigned from the factory and helped her son do the dishes and clean the house. This was a life that the family had never dared to dream of. Now it had all come true. When she returned home this time, her parents began to indirectly ask about CSCC's relationship problems. This year, CSCC was in her 4th year of university and was about to graduate. She didn't know where the old man had heard that people in university would talk about love. It seemed that Takashi Hoshi was no exception. In the beginning, CSCC really thought that something had been exposed. Later on, when she found out about it, she casually brushed her parents off. However, this question made CSCC feel a little uneasy. Her secret relationship with Wang Lan had lasted for more than 3 years. It was a ticking time bomb. Nobody knew when it would explode. Although she knew deep down that she should break off such a taboo relationship with Wang Lan, how could CSCC bear to do so? After all, this was too exciting. Beep, 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 her phone rang. CSCC took out her phone and glanced at it. With a thud, the knife slashed hard on the chopping board. She pulled the apron on her body and flung it behind her. Brother, I'm going out. Where are you going? Are you coming back for dinner tonight? I'm not coming. Then when are you coming back? I don't know. Xie Qiao watched Gale Fire's back as he walked out of the kitchen. Where's my cute and soft sister? Where did she go? She took a plane from Magic City and flew straight to Yunhai. As she did not inform the Yunhai Heavenly Sword Bureau that she was coming, naturally, no one came to pick her up. Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu soared into the sky and flew straight to the Yunhai Heavenly Sword Bureau's headquarters. At that moment, the director of the Yunhai Heavenly Sword Bureau, Che Pu, was in the conference room giving out the tracking mission. The Takashi Hoshi who had caused such a terrifying aftermath of the battle had appeared in Yunhai. It was not any of the super powerhouses from Jade State. If they did not find him, Che Pu would not be able to sleep at night. Halfway through the mission, Che Pu received a call from Wang Lan. He quickly put the meeting aside and went out to greet him. General Wang Lan, why didn't you tell me that you were coming? I could have sent someone to pick you up. You don't have to be so polite. I flew over even faster. What's the situation? Have you found any clues? I don't have any information at the moment. Other than knowing that this person is an angel from you, I don't know anything else. When did they become a mirror? What are they doing in Yunhai? Who is the other person? I have no clue. The angel and I have fought twice. Her strength. To be honest, I can only fight to a draw even if I use all my strength. The angel also has a very troublesome teleportation ability. I am not confident that I can stop her. So powerful. Fortunately, you came. If it was just us, I'm afraid we would have died. Didn't you inform the 5 emperors? We have to find the other person's whereabouts before we can talk about reinforcements. We don't even know where the person is. Did you find the phone number? We didn't find the phone number, but we found the place where the message was sent. It was in a residential building in the city. Unfortunately, we were too late. When we arrived, the person was already gone. However, we heard from the neighbors that the person was a foreigner. This answer surprised Wang Lan. He thought that it was someone that Wang Lan knew. He did not expect it to be a foreigner. Why would a foreigner send a message to Wang Lan and the other three to save him? And it was obviously directed at the Raging Desolate Squad? Was it a colleague from the International Security Committee? That was not right. A colleague from the International Security Committee would not send a message directly to the Raging Desolate Squad. Even if they were to ask for help, they would send it to the Bureau. That afternoon, Su Xiangwen and CSCC arrived at Yunhai Province. Wang Lan asked Qipel to send someone to pick them up. At dusk, the Raging Desolate Squad gathered again. The angel? Su Xiangwen asked in surprise. The angel who caused such a huge ruckus in White Eagle a few days ago and almost rubbed White Eagle's face into the ground? After dealing with White Eagle, she is now dealing with us? Dealing with us? Kill him. Did you bring the combat uniform? I don't know if she is in Yunhai Province now. As long as he dares to stay in Yunhai Province, he can forget about leaving alive. On the other side, in a hidden mountain forest, a female deer was being pressed down by a burly figure. The doe looked up at the sky and let out a mournful cry. The man kept moving on the doe's body. After a long time, the man let out a long sigh. I watched the television. Those milkers do their work so easily. Why is it so difficult for me to milk? As the man spoke, he got up from the doe's body. Her two fat breasts had been squeezed out of shape. However, only half of the water bottle in his hand was filled. After slowing down the sound of the water in the bottle, the middle-aged white man sighed and disappeared into the forest. The white man walked around in circles and came to a hidden cave. Outside the cave, the white man hesitated. What am I thinking? Why am I getting involved in this mess? Wouldn't it be better to change my identity and go on vacation? The white man seemed to be talking to himself. In the end, he walked into the cave with the half-filled bottle of deer milk. In the cave, a lamp flickered. When he got closer, he saw that it was a vase that was suspended in the cave. Under the vase, a blonde girl was sleeping. There was blood at the corner of her mouth, and her chest rose and fell weakly. As the white man got closer, the frequency of the vase's light flashing became more and more intense. Hey, listen, this is the deer milk I worked hard to collect. Don't mess around. I'm feeding your master. You can't attack me, do you hear me? Although his tone was tough, his actions were very cowardly. He walked step by step towards the girl. Every step he took seemed to require a great deal of courage. He was the person in charge of the Bird of Paradise base that the angel had snatched from Wang Lan's hands and then casually thrown into the sea. A dignified late-stage astral sea realm expert, but in front of an unconscious girl, he was as humble as a grandson. He used to be an all-powerful existence, and his name made people's expressions change. But now, he was just a little coward. Why did it become like this? There was only one reason. He was beaten up by the Holy Grail. Any existence that wanted to get close to the master of the Holy Grail would be attacked by the Holy Grail. But this time, although the Holy Grail kept flashing, it did not attack. The white man moved step by step to Yulia's side and let out a long breath. He carefully helped Yulia up and brought the canteen to Yulia's mouth. The goat milk slowly flowed into Yulia's mouth, and Yulia carefully swallowed it. Suddenly, the unconscious Yulia opened her eyes and stared sharply at the white man. Don't. I'm taking care of you. Don't attack me. I'm just feeding you. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. Phone. Yulia weakly said a word. Phone. The white man took out his phone from his pocket, his face full of heartache. Do you know? This is the first time I've been a thief in my life, and it's actually just to steal a phone. It's too shameful to think that I, a dignified Takashi Hoshi, actually. Yulia snatched the phone and quickly opened the message. She quickly typed in the number and shakily clicked send. When she finished the last step, Yulia seemed to have used up all her strength. Her eyelids drooped, and she fainted in the white man's arms. Her injuries were too severe. If not for the Holy Grail hanging on to her life, she might have died long ago. "Hey, are you dead yet?" Boom! Suddenly, the Holy Grail exploded with a powerful energy. The white man was fiercely hit, and his body flew backward and crashed into the mountain wall. "Ah, I knew it, you bastard, you ungrateful thing!" The Holy Grail was still floating above Yulia's head, flashing with light. At the same time, Wang Lan's phone suddenly rang. "Come save me!" Chapter 632. Another one. Wang Lan looked at the phone and stood up immediately. "Director Che, hurry up and find out where this message came from." In fact, there was no need for Wang Lan to remind him. The moment Wang Lan received the message, Che Pu had already given the order. The last time, they had been tracking it after a period of time, so the accuracy and effectiveness were much worse. This time, they were waiting for the right opportunity. All the instruments were in place. The moment the order was given, all the signal tracking instruments were in place. They immediately pointed to the other party in the depths of the jungle in Yunhai province. "Found it. The precise range is within 5 kilometers, Che Pu said quickly. "Let's go." The moment they obtained the approximate range, Wang Lan put on his mask and left the meeting room with the raging desolate team. 4 figures jumped out of the window and rushed into the sky. Although Yunhai province was 4 times the size of Jiang province, more than 70% of it was covered by mountains and forests. It was not easy to build a base station in the mountains and forests. Therefore, the signal in the forest was extremely poor. If it were not for the satellite signal conversion, the phone would be useless in the depths of the forest. Wang Lan and the others landed from the sky and entered the forest to search. In the primitive forest, even people who lived in the forest all year round would get lost easily. It was not easy to find a phone within 5 kilometers in the complicated forest. "Wait!" Suddenly Su Xianwen said, "Someone is coming. They're 5 kilometers away, but they're heading in this direction. I don't know if they're our own people." "That's not very likely. If they're our own people, there's no reason for me not to know. Let's hide and see who they are first." If the 4 of them were to fight, other than Wang Lan, the others might not be fearless. However, if they were to hide without being discovered, the 4 of them were definitely at the top of the world. Not to mention that Jiang Sinu's virtuous like water could hide in water vapor, Xiesi's water demon and Su Xiangwen's earth transformation technique could perfectly blend into nature. Soon, a group of people in camouflage uniforms arrived near Wang Lan. They were all fully armed with helmets, heat-sensitive scanners, and so on. The woman in the lead made Wang Lan's eyes turn cold. "Angel? Is he an angel?" Su Xiangwen asked curiously. "Why does he look so familiar?" "The angel looks almost the same as Yulia. We suspect that she is a clone of Yulia. No, she might be a duplicate." The angel led the team straight past Wang Lan and the others, heading straight into the depths of the forest. "Is the angel heading in the direction of the person we're looking for?" Jiang Xinyu asked after revealing herself. "Is there any suspense?" "I'm sure of it." The 4 of them quietly followed the angel's group. In order not to be detected, Wang Lan's group maintained a distance of more than 300 meters from the angel's group. They also used space, shield and Jiang Sinu's perfection like water to isolate their senses. Suddenly, Angel's group stopped in their tracks. Angel waved her hand, and the 3 people behind her moved to a mountain wall. 2 of them punched the wall, shattering it. "We've found you. Do you want to come out yourself, or do we have to go in?" Angel spoke in a language that Wang Lan did not understand. It was not even a language that Wang Lan knew. There was no response from the cave. Angel's patience was worn out. She waved her hand again, and the group of people rushed into the cave. Boom! There was a loud explosion, and the cave was instantly engulfed in flames. The few people who rushed in were blasted out by the explosion. They rolled at the angel's feet, their bodies charred black. It was obvious that they would not survive. Humph! Astral power surged around Angel. Instantly, a pair of wings appeared on her back, as if covered in a layer of moonlight. It was beautiful. Boom! Suddenly, a terrifying sound came from the mountain wall. The mountain wall, which was dozens of meters high, suddenly exploded. A glowing vase rushed out of the mountain wall and smashed towards the angel. Holy Grail! Wang Lan and the others recognized this divine artifact. The Holy Grail's power was still fresh in their minds during the battle with the Lord of Hell. Why is the Holy Grail here? Xie asked in confusion. No, isn't the Holy Grail Yulia's divine artifact? That only proves that the one in the cave is Yulia. Everyone, get ready. This time, we must kill Angel. Since you've come to Jade State, don't go back. Understood. Boom, boom, boom. The Holy Grail kept bombarding Angel. Every attack made the space tremble slightly. The Holy Grail had the power of space and the power of laws. If Yulia had not been severely injured, Angel would not have been a match for Yulia, who had the Holy Grail. While the two were fighting fiercely, there was a sudden sound of Sanskrit. Angel was shocked. After forcing Holy Grail away, she immediately retreated. But for some reason, golden swastikas appeared around her, forming a picture scroll that surrounded her from top to bottom. Vajra Seal, Sky Dance Treasure Wheel. Wang Lan's voice seemed to come from beyond the 9 heavens. Hearing this voice, the angel's face suddenly changed. Her eyes were filled with fear. Seeing that Angel had nowhere to run, the Holy Grail flashed even faster. It bombarded the angel in a frenzy. As the power of the seal grew stronger, the angel's senses became more and more sluggish and tired. The angel was a little panicked. The space around her twisted, but under the interference of the Vajra seal, she could not use spatial teleportation. At this moment, the angel was like a bird in a cage. No matter how she flapped her wings, it was futile. Wang Lan's figure flashed and rushed into the Vajra seal. He instantly put on the Phoenix Saint robe and activated the Phoenix form. Flames spewed out of his body. His body instantly swelled up. 1-inch punch, threefold 1-inch punch. The threefold 1-inch punch performed in the Dragon Emperor form was Wang Lan's most powerful pure physical attack. The angel had no way to avoid this punch. She suddenly summoned a holy light shield. But before Wang Lan's fist could hit the holy light shield, the Holy Grail had already hit the holy light shield. With a bang, the holy light shield instantly shattered. At the moment when the holy light shield shattered, Wang Lan's punch had already rushed through the fragments of the holy light shield and arrived in front of the angel. Boom! The punch carried a ripple that distorted space. It hit the angel's chest hard. The angel's body twisted like a reflection in water in the distortion of space. Whoa! Suddenly, the angel opened her mouth and spat out a mouthful of golden blood. Bankai, judgment of light, in an instant, the Zanpakuto in his hand scattered. The entire Vajra seal was shrouded in light. The milky white light seemed to turn into white milk. A gigantic heavenly sword formed by the convergence of light appeared in the sky. The angel still hadn't recovered from the power of Wang Lan's punch. The holy sword above her head fell down hard. It hit the angel's chest. A terrifying energy spread out and burst the Vajra seal. The sharp cry was like the chirping of cicadas in summer. Wang Lan only felt a little pain in his eardrums. Take advantage of the enemy's weakness. Wang Lan didn't dare to hesitate. Once he used his moves, he would have to use them until the angel died. In an instant, a 5-colored light bloomed behind Wang Lan. A pair of 5-colored phoenixes spread their wings and flew. Melt, flame, scorch, ice, heat, mist, explosion. Wang Lan raised his hands and injected various fusion attributes into the star power. The star power turned into a huge energy ball. Then, he used the power of concentration to compress and compress. This was Wang Lan's Takashi Hoshi skill that completely erased the island in the center of the Skeleton Sea. But this time, Wang Lan injected more star power and the types of attributes were more complicated. Terrifying energy was released, turning into a rotating energy beam that struck down. The angel, who was on the verge of death under the light of judgment, raised her head with difficulty. She was stunned when she saw the beam of death come crashing down. Boom! A terrifying explosion rang out, and the ground began to churn as if a huge meteorite had crashed into the water surface. Quick, retreat! Jiang Xinyu carried the unconscious Yulia on her back and pulled Su Xiangwen and the others as they ran for their lives. Wang Lan's ultimate move was comparable to an atomic bomb with a yield of 1,000,000 kilograms. The surrounding trees weren't uprooted. Instead, they were annihilated in an instant. Wang Lan flashed and arrived beside Jiang Xinyu and the others. In another flash, he brought Jiang Xinyu and the others a few kilometers away. Outside the forest, Che Pu and the other Yunhai Heavenly Sword Bureau experts stared blankly at the mushroom cloud in the distance. If it wasn't for the white light, Che Pu would have suspected that this was an atomic bomb explosion. What kind of battle could cause such a huge commotion? Director, the energy is out. It's more than 10 times the power of the previous battle. And it's a pure star power explosion. This is a collision between a Takashi Hoshi skill or 2 Takashi Hoshi skills. Takashi Hoshi. Is there really such a powerful Takashi Hoshi skill? Che Pu asked mechanically. Ding. Successfully killed the angel. Reward. 1,000,000 experience points, 100,000 skill points. As expected of you, the angel who turned the world upside down. Just killing you gives so much EXP. Wang Lan looked at Yulia on Jiang Xinyu's back and hurriedly threw a life aura over. Suddenly, Wang Lan's face changed and he took out his phone. Before Wang Lan could dial the number, his phone rang. It was a call from Hua Jianfeng. Wang Lan had a premonition and picked up the call. Wang Lan, something happened. Yulia stole the Mystic Moon Mask and defected. How are the headquarters losses? The losses are not bad. Yulia used the excuse of researching the Mystic Moon Mask to steal it. Then she broke through 2 S-ranked independent teams and escaped. Wait. Why are you so calm? Because I just found out that the Yulia we brought to the headquarters is also a fake. Or rather, she's also an angel. Also? Angels are clones of Yulia, but no one said that there is only one angel. Just now, I saved another Yulia in Jade State's Yunhai province. She's being chased by an angel. Another Yulia? Are you sure she's not an angel? She has the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is a divine item from the nation of God. Only the Pope and Saintess of the divine religion can be recognized by the Holy Grail. I think this should be real. However, Yulia is still unconscious. I've already treated her. We'll have to wait until she wakes up to get more information. Let me know if there's any new information. Chapter 633. Yulia's injuries were more serious than expected. She had been on the verge of death for a whole year. Even with Wang Lan's Takashi Hoshi's medical skills, it still took half a day to stabilize Yulia's injuries. In the First National Defense Hospital of Yunhai Province, outside the independent inpatient building, armed police guards were standing guard. The patients passing by curiously looked at the usually quiet inpatient building and whispered to their friends from time to time. Who do you think lives inside? At least the mayor's level? Bullshit. How can a mayor have such a big lineup? That's the anti-terrorist force. They have real weapons in their hands. I suspect it's the cabinet level. I haven't heard of any of the 7 cabinet members coming to Yunhai. Who knows? But anyway, be careful. Don't wander around in front of them. What if they think you're that thing and shoot you? You're exaggerating. Jade State still cares about humanity. Do you think they're White Eagle State? As long as there's suspicion, the guards can shoot you. But don't wander around. It's not good if you get misunderstood. In the ward, Wang Lan stood at the window and looked out. Jiang Xinyu sat on the chair beside the bed and flipped through the newspaper. Xie plugged in her headphones and watched dramas. Su Xiangwen was crazily attacking the tower. Something had happened at the International Security Committee headquarters. Since the Mystic Moon mask had been taken by the other party, it was useless for Wang Lan to rush back. He had to wait until Yulia woke up to confirm the information. That angel must be related to the birds of paradise. Otherwise, the angel wouldn't have brought along the birds of paradise's men. But Wang Lan had a feeling that the angel and the birds of paradise's style of doing things were different. It was more like a cooperative relationship between them. Moreover, since the angel was a clone of Yulia, how did the other party do it? The strength of the clone was even higher than Yulia's original strength? If the other party had this ability, it would be terrifying. 10 clones of Yulia would be able to challenge a superpower. If they could clone Yulia, could they clone other people? For example, cloning Wang Lan. Cloning the top experts in the world? Cloning 10 of each person was simply a nightmare. Suddenly, a soft snort sounded in the silent room. Wang Lan quickly turned around. On the sickbed, Yulia slowly opened her eyes. Yulia looked at the snow-white roof, then turned her head to look at Wang Lan and the others. A smile appeared on her face. Yulia struggled to sit up, but she had been on the brink of death for more than a year. Even though Yulia had been healed by Wang Lan, she was still very weak. She tried but failed. Yulia, you're awake. How do you feel? Very good, thank you. You don't have to thank us. Yulia tried to sit up again, and this time, she succeeded. His body was rapidly recovering. Yulia slowly sat up. Jiang Xinyu quickly placed a pillow behind Yulia. What the hell is going on? Why are you here? This matter started from the battle a year ago. Do you still remember how the previous saintess used the Holy Grail to break the seal of the Lord of Hell? At that time, cracks had also appeared on the Holy Grail. And because the Holy Grail was damaged, the seal on the Holy Grail loosened. Loosened? Does that mean the Lord of Hell escaped again? Was it the Lord of Hell who injured you? Xie quickly asked. Wang Lan frowned slightly. He remembered that the Lord of Hell died soon after being sucked into the Holy Grail. Although he didn't tell anyone, the Lord of Hell was definitely dead. Yulia silently shook her head. It's not the Lord of Hell. It's another existence that's 100 times, or even 1,000 times more terrifying than the Lord of Hell. The number 1 traitor of heaven, the one who directly caused the fall of heaven, Lucy. Something that's 100 times or 1,000 times more terrifying than the Lord of Hell. Jiang Xinyu looked at Yulia in shock. She wanted to see an exaggerated expression on Yulia's face, but unfortunately there was none. Yulia's words were very serious and pessimistic. The Lord of Hell was already enough to make the entire human race go all out. If it was 100 times or 1,000 times more terrifying than the Lord of Hell, wouldn't it be able to reformat the entire human race with a wave of its hand? When the Lord of Hell was sealed in the Holy Grail, it was devoured by Lucy. Because of this, Lucy obtained the most basic energy to break out of the Holy Grail's seal. What kind of existence is Lucy? Wang Lan quickly asked. Lucy is a holy angel from heaven 10,000 years ago. Wang Lan, do you know what the angel form is? The Takashi Hoshi technique used by the angel? I know. The Takashi Hoshi of the divine religion is directly passed down by the god. Our cultivation method is different from any other sect in the world. Our final evolution path is to become an angel. When the angel form reaches the second stage, it will transform into an angel. However, that's only the most basic strength angel. Even the most basic strength angel has the strength of an astral soul realm cultivator. As it continues to cultivate, the strength of an angel will increase along with the number of wings. When it increases to 4 pairs of wings, it will become a battle angel. When it increases to 6 pairs of wings, it will become a radiant angel. When it increases to 8 pairs of wings, it will become a blazing angel. Lucy was one of the 2 archangels 10,000 years ago and the only holy angel. With the body of an angel, it was comparable to the god. As soon as he said this, Wang Lan and the other three's hearts were in turmoil. Even the lowest level angel has the strength of an astral soul realm cultivator. A 12-winged holy angel has advanced 5 levels. Does this mean that an astral soul realm cultivator is the same as an ordinary person in front of an astral soul realm cultivator? 10,000 years ago, Lucy was tempted by the demonic god and had the ambition to replace the gods. Because of his betrayal, the demonic god attacked heaven and caused heaven to be destroyed. Before the gods fell, they placed a curse on Lucy. During the day, his body would be burned by the true fire of the sun. At night, his soul would be burned by the true fire of the hell. After that, Lucy was sealed in the Holy Grail by the gods and suffered 10,000 years of torture. I seem to have heard of this plot. Mystic Moon Mask? You know about the Mystic Moon Mask too? Yulia asked in surprise. The Mystic Moon Mask is a divine weapon made by the gods. It can counteract curses. The angel has already obtained the Mystic Moon Mask, Wang Lan said with a bitter smile. This news made Yulia feel despair. Lucy obtained the Mystic Moon Mask to counteract the god's curse. Although his strength was greatly reduced after being sealed for 10,000 years, a 12-winged holy angel is still a holy angel. Is there no other way? I don't know, but I really can't think of any other way. Lucy's strength is comparable to the gods. Destroying the world is just a matter of thought for him. Unless the will of the 2 ancient gods, Gaia and Thick Earth, awaken. Gaia and Thick Earth? Su Xianwen smiled. I say, Yulia, I know you're a religious person, but it's fine if you believe in the divine religion. Don't believe in other religions. Gaia is from the Olympian faction, and Thick Earth is our Eastern god. Olympus, heaven, the Eastern celestial court, and the Norse pantheon were the 4 divine realms in ancient times. This is clearly recorded in the divine religion. Around 10,000 years ago, the demonic gods invaded. The fall of heaven caused the power of the Earth divine realm to be imbalanced. The final battle between the Earth divine realm and the demonic gods occurred. In the end, the demonic gods were exiled into space and time, and the gods of the 4 divine realms fell. However, although the demonic gods were exiled, one day they would descend again. In the end, Gaia and Thick Earth turned into the will of the Earth and merged with the Earth star. With the Earth star as the eye of the array and the Milky Way as the array, they sealed the entire Milky Way and solidified it. Because of this, creatures from the outside world would be suppressed by the laws of the Milky Way. Otherwise, with the strength of the demonic world, how could the human race resist? However, Lucy was an exception. Lucy was a god of the Earth divine realm. Although he betrayed the gods, he was still within the laws. A 12-winged holy angel can destroy the world. Wang Lan and the other 3 looked at each other, not knowing whether to believe it or not. Then what do you think is the angel? Angel? Is it my clone? Yulia leaned on the bed and sighed. When I was repairing the Holy Grail, I was curious and wanted to find out what was going on. I accidentally saw Lucy, who was sealed by the Holy Grail. At that time, I didn't know Lucy's identity. He lied to me and said that he was a spirit living in the Holy Grail. He knew all the secrets about heaven and knew all the Takashi Hoshi techniques passed down from heaven. Since the destruction of heaven, too many powerful Takashi Hoshi techniques disappeared in the long river of history because there was no successor. Naturally, I was overjoyed to be able to obtain the inheritance from the Holy Grail. After that, I followed Lucy to cultivate, but in the process of cultivation, he was also depriving my soul. As more and more souls were deprived, I also realized that something might have gone wrong. Later, I went to Zhai Xinglu and found the truth from there. It was impossible for there to be a spirit in the Holy Grail, so the one who claimed to be a spirit must be Lucy. After I saw through his identity, Lucy finally shed all pretense of cordiality. I was no match for Lucy. If not for the Holy Grail protecting me, I would have been killed by Lucy. The Holy Grail took me to the Pacific Ocean and lost its power. I fell into the sea and sank to the bottom. The angel should have been replicated by Lucy using my soul. As for the angel's power, it should have been given by Lucy. For the past year, I have been at the bottom of the sea. If not for someone falling into the sea and being captured by the Holy Grail, I might still be lying at the bottom of the sea. After I was brought ashore, I regained consciousness for a short while. However, my injuries were too severe, and I only managed to say that I was in the Jade Nation before falling into a coma. That person then brought me to the Jade Nation. So you sent a message to the four of us? Yes, I was awake for too short a time. I didn't have time to make a call or do anything else. This year, Lucy did not appear because there was no Black Moon Mask to suppress the curse. But now that they have the Black Moon Mask, Lucy will definitely appear. His appearance is the nightmare of the world. At this moment, Wang Lan's phone rang. Wang Lan looked at it and saw that it was a call from Che Pu. Wang Lan, we caught a Takashi Hoshi who illegally entered the country near where you guys were fighting. This person said that he wants to see the Saintess. Otherwise, he won't say anything. Are you guys still so polite when interrogating? Just use your mental imprint. He is a Star Sea Realm expert. His mental power is extremely strong. Only you can use your mental imprint. Alright, I will come over. Chapter 634. In the southern hemisphere, there was a forbidden zone known as the Death Mountain Range. It was dry all year round, and there might not be a single drop of rain for decades. During the day, the temperature here could be as high as 60 degrees Celsius. At night, the temperature would plummet to -20 degrees Celsius. This was a true forbidden zone for life. Even the most drought-resistant cactus couldn't survive here. The same scenery stretched for thousands of miles as far as the eye could see. Occasionally, a few pillars of smoke could be seen rushing into the sky. This was the harmful gas emitted by volcanic activity. There was no life in the forbidden zone. This was common knowledge in the world. But no one would have thought that the headquarters of the birds of paradise, which the world had been searching for hundreds of years and was listed as the second enemy of human civilization, was hidden in the forbidden zone. It wasn't appropriate to call this the headquarters of the birds of paradise, because the birds of paradise didn't have a headquarters. It was just where the highest leader was hiding. Hundreds of meters underground, it was a place where heat couldn't be transmitted. In the dim underground space, there were many figures moving around. They didn't communicate and they didn't smile. Their faces were like masks, and they would never show any expression. In the depths of the base, there was a palace made of ice. From time to time, there would be blood-curdling screams, like the howls of demons from hell. In the center of the huge palace, there was a 5-meter-tall frozen throne. On the throne sat a white-haired young man. The young man held his forehead, and the screams came from his mouth. During the day, he would be roasted by the sun's true fire, and at night, he would be burned by the flames of hell. No matter where he hid, he couldn't avoid this torture. Even after 10,000 years, he still couldn't bear it. Is there still no news from the Holy Maiden? How long has it been, and she still hasn't found it? My God, I received a reply from the Holy Maiden not long ago. She said that she had succeeded, but it would take some time to avoid being tracked. I can't wait any longer. No, I can't wait any longer. Tell her to bring the Mystic Moon Mask to me immediately. Yes. The white man had just left when he suddenly turned around in surprise. My God, the Holy Maiden is back. She's back. The blonde Yulia stepped on the hard and flat ice and appeared in the hall. She knelt on one knee. Master, I didn't disappoint you. I brought the Mystic Moon Mask back. As he spoke, he lifted the Mystic Moon Mask with both hands. Whoosh! The Mystic Moon Mask turned into a stream of light and landed on Lu Shi's hand. He looked at the mask in his hand with burning eyes. Wearing this mask can remove the curse on my body. It said that, with a snap, Lu Shi put the mask on his face, and a cold feeling started to spread from his face to his surroundings. In the blink of an eye, it turned into cool spring water that poured down from the top of his head, extinguishing the burning flames in his body. Jie jie jie. Ka ka ka. Suddenly, Lucian let out an unpleasant sound. His body curled up in the frozen throne, shivering. Master, what's wrong? The holy maiden hurriedly stepped forward and asked. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, the white-haired man laughed wildly. It can really suppress the curse, it can actually suppress the curse. 10,000 years, I have been tortured by this curse for 10,000 years. Ha 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 ha. Lu Shi slowly stood up and raised his head. The mask on his face had already changed. The mystic moon mask that was as delicate as a butterfly had now turned into a hideous ghost face. A person's appearance was born from the heart. A person with a kind heart would appear beautiful on the mask, but a person with an evil heart would appear as a malicious ghost on the mask. God, you have tortured me for 10,000 years, but you must have never thought that the mask you left behind would release me in the end, right? Ha ha. Boom. Suddenly, a ball of white light exploded from Lu Shi's back, and 12 pairs of pure white wings appeared, fluttering in the wind. Dragon Tiger Mountain, righteous sect, the birthplace of Taoism, the ancestor of Taoism. Although Taoism worshipped the three pure ones and promoted Laozi as the ancestor of Taoism, the true founder of Taoism was Zhang Daoling. Thousands of years had passed, and there were 3,000 Taoist sects, but Dragon Tiger Mountain was still the ancestor. At the back of Dragon Tiger Mountain, a young man in white gently picked up a chess piece. Water flowed on the chessboard in front of him. The water flowed past the chess piece, leaving behind beautiful ripples. Suddenly, the man in white jerked his head towards the south, and the chess piece in his hand shattered with a crack. How can this be? What a powerful and terrifying aura! Ancestor, what's wrong? Yu Ruoyun asked in surprise. She had been by King Jiangshan's side for so long, but she had never seen King Jiangshan lose his composure like this. A peerless demon has been born, and it seems like the human world is going to experience another catastrophe. A peerless demon? With you guarding the human world, no matter how fierce the demon is, it's just a sword strike to you. A sword strike to him? Ha ha. I raised a sword, but it's only comparable to one of his fingers. What? Yu Ruoyun was shocked. Ancestor's strength has already reached the half-immortal realm. How can there be anyone in the world who can compare to you? I'm invincible in the mortal world, but I'm afraid the other party isn't human. King Jiangshan waved his hand slowly, and the chessboard in front of him was swept clean. This is the aura of a god. Yu Ruoyun's breathing was a little rapid, and she quickly took out her phone and dialed a number. Yunhai Province, Heavenly Sword Bureau Headquarters. Wang Lan was led to the interrogation room by Secretary Che Pu. The moment he saw the white man in the interrogation room, a surprised expression appeared on Wang Lan's face. It's you? Fire Phoenix? You're the Fire Phoenix of the Raging Desolate Squad? You know each other? Che Pu asked. Yes, kill him, don't waste time. Wang Lan said indifferently and turned to leave. Sigh, Fire Phoenix, you can't do this, I've done good for you. The Bird of Paradise's brain is engraved with a technique, and it can't be imprinted with a mind, so just kill him. He's a Bird of Paradise? Che Pu's expression immediately turned ugly. Every country had a rule that if you meet a Bird of Paradise, you can just kill him directly. No, I've already escaped from the Bird of Paradise's control, there's no technique in my brain. The white man quickly said in English. Wang Lan stopped in his tracks. You've escaped from the Bird of Paradise's control? How did you do it? Not long ago, after I was kidnapped by that angel, she helped me break the technique in order to obtain the secret in my brain. After that, she casually threw me away. I originally planned to swim back to the mainland, but I didn't expect to be captured by the Holy Grail. I was the one who saved the saintess of the nation of God. I've done good for you. That's it? Wang Lan laughed coldly. You're a bird of paradise, right? And you're the person in charge of a base. Your position in the bird of paradise isn't low. You must have done a lot of things for them over the years, right? You can't blame me for this. I didn't have a choice before. I just want to be a good person now, but you didn't listen to me at all. You just wanted to imprint me directly. Do you think I didn't know? Once I'm imprinted, I'll be an idiot. What's the point of living like that? Who told you that once you're imprinted, you'll be an idiot? Wang Lan asked coldly. An expert who's proficient in imprinting can imprint memories without damaging the brain with the help of the person being imprinted, but no matter how I look at it, there's no such expert here, right? I can't bet my head on their integrity. Fire Phoenix, I'll be honest, do you still not believe me? I promise I won't say anything. We also don't dare to bet on your promise. Wang Lan sighed and shook his head. I swear on my integrity. Your integrity is worthless in my eyes, and besides, it seems like you can resist or something. Wang Lan's words made the white man's expression change. In front of other people, he could still resist, but in front of Fire Phoenix of the Raging Desolate Squad, it seemed that resistance was futile. Come, don't be afraid, be good, cooperate with my spiritual power and perform spiritual resonance. Wang Lan pressed his hand on the white man's head and said, if he didn't cooperate, then so be it, but if he didn't, then he would just force his way through the door. Fortunately, the white man was able to recognize reality and obediently controlled his spiritual power to perform spiritual resonance. Soon, Wang Lan entered the white man's memory through spiritual resonance. This Hilk was really King unlucky. He was only fooled and was finally convicted of assassinating the president. After being listed as an S-rank traitor, he had no choice but to join the Bird of Paradise in order to survive. Perhaps the Prussians were born with that kind of heart and didn't have any other intentions. Since he joined the Bird of Paradise, then he had to work hard for them. He worked hard without complaint and was willing to carry bricks and lick tiles for the Bird of Paradise. He became more and more valued by the Bird of Paradise, and 15 years later, he was promoted to become a leader of the Bird of Paradise. The leaders of the same rank as him either worked for the Bird of Paradise for decades or were trained by the Bird of Paradise. After becoming a leader, he had access to more confidential information, especially the leader of the Bird of Paradise, called the Holy Sun, who was located in the underground space of the Forbidden Zone. The Bird of Paradise didn't have a headquarters, and in the words of the Bird of Paradise, the Bird of Paradise was the bird of immortality. Even if you killed all the senior leaders of the Bird of Paradise and eliminated 95% of the Bird of Paradise's forces, as long as there was still a Bird of Paradise's forces, the Bird of Paradise would be reborn from the ashes and develop again. This Bird of Paradise organization had a longer lifespan than many countries in the world. After about half an hour, Wang Lan's hand moved away. Hilk, who was in front of him, suddenly shivered, and the first thought that came to his mind was, "Who am I? Where am I? Am I an idiot?" After confirming that he hadn't become an idiot, Hilk wanted to howl at the sky. Wang Lan frowned, rubbed his chin, and fell into deep thought. Can our nuclear bombs reach a depth of 700 meters? 700 meters underground. Che Pu shook his head. It depends on the type. The lethality of a nuclear bomb's range is mainly in the shockwave, and the shockwave can't spread underground. Otherwise, there wouldn't be the saying of avoiding a nuclear bomb by hiding underground. I think we've found the whereabouts of the Holy Sun of Paradise. Who? Che Pu didn't react for a moment, but the next second, he stood up abruptly. Who did you say? The Holy Sun? The leader of the Bird of Paradise, the Holy Sun? Yes. Where is he? Blast him with a nuclear bomb. The whole world has been looking for him for decades, and we've finally caught him, Che Pu shouted excitedly. Chapter 635. Finding the headquarters of the Birds of Paradise was a big deal. Wang Lan immediately contacted the leaders of the international and domestic organizations. Although the Birds of Paradise don't have a fixed headquarters, it's still a good thing that we can find the Holy Sun. Since they're in an uninhabited area, there's no need to be polite. On the screen, number 1 and the 6 leaders were all present. After listening to Wang Lan's report, number 1 said calmly, "Do you need me to make a move?" Wang Lan probed. "No need, I'll contact the United Nations immediately. Give us the most accurate coordinate." Yes. The United Nations decision was also very fast. There was only one attitude towards the Birds of Paradise. If they could use missiles, they wouldn't use bullet. If they could kill, they wouldn't leave anyone alive. On the other side, in the Ice Palace, Lu Shi's terrifying aura wreaked havoc. The entire Ice Palace trembled violently under his terrifying aura. Dense cracks covered the entire Ice Palace. In front of Lu Shi stood a few leaders of the Birds of Paradise respectfully. Lu Shi's strength made the leaders smile excitedly. Although they had been reduced from high and mighty leaders to lowly servants, it still depended on whose servants they were. "Congratulations, my God, for removing the curse. My God, may I ask what we should do next?" The former Holy Sun bowed and asked. "Of course, the next step is to announce my arrival to the world. But before that, we have to eradicate the divine religion." Lu Shi lightly tapped his finger on the frozen throne and said calmly. Suddenly, hurried footsteps sounded behind him. Lu Shi couldn't help but frown, and a trace of displeasure appeared on his face. "Your Eminence, it's not good. The humans have launched an intercontinental missile. Our base must have been exposed. If we don't move now, it'll be too late." A high-level demon's spy hurriedly ran into the frozen throne and said, "Intercontinental missile? What's that?" "It's a technological weapon that can accurately hit targets tens of thousands of kilometers away. If it's equipped with a nuclear warhead, a single missile can destroy an entire city. It's currently the most powerful weapon in human civilization." "A single missile can destroy an entire city? That's not that powerful." "It's fine." Lu Shi lazily yawned. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something and looked at the demon's spy in front of him. "What did you just call me?" "Your Eminence? You have been conferred the title of Venerable God in our God race. They are second only to Lord Demonic God." "Your Eminence? Who sealed it?" "Of course it's Lord Demon God." Boom! With a loud explosion, the bodies of the demons instantly exploded. Green blood splattered everywhere, drenching the holy children and the other higher-ups of the Birds of Paradise. Back then, the devil god promised to share the universe equally with me. Since when was it his turn to call me a god? And you call yourself a second-grade deity? Ridiculous. This scene caused the expressions of the others to change, and they immediately revealed excited smiles. My God, he is the highest leader of the demons' spies in the human world. If you kill him directly, the demons will definitely know. At that time, do you think the demons would dare to open the gate of time and space while I'm still around? The demons have been banished to the space-time turbulence. The remaining demons are nothing but chickens and pottery dogs in my eyes. I can wipe them all out with a wave of my hand. Go, kill all the demon bastards in the base. Don't leave a single one alive. Of course, Lucy had the confidence. After all, he was a 12-winged divine angel. Back then, he was also a powerful existence on the same level as the gods. In an era where there were no demons or gods, he was the only god in the world. Of course, it was precisely because the demons had been banished that the gods had either fallen or perished. Therefore, he was not afraid of bragging. Calling the demon god his brother was just Lucy's wishful thinking. Back then, the demon god alone could challenge heaven, the Olympian gods, the Norse temples, and the Eastern heavenly court. As for Lucy, he was just a top-notch expert in heaven. The difference between him and the demon god was a dimension apart. Back then, Lucy was already praised when he was given the title of a god. However, there was a saying that went, "When the tiger is not in the mountain, the monkey is the king." Woo woo woo! Suddenly, a shrill alarm sounded. Lucy frowned slightly. What's going on? The danger alarm has been triggered. It must be the attacks of the various countries, reporting to the holy children, reporting to my God. The holy children quickly shouted. Yes, reporting to my God. The radar shows that there are hundreds of intercontinental missiles rapidly approaching. It is estimated that they will hit us in 5 minutes. What should we do? Can you identify it? It's too fast. I can't identify it. It's very likely that it's a nuclear bomb. My God, please take action, my God. A few of the higher-ups of the birds of paradise hurriedly bowed and asked. Lucy snorted coldly. Just some small wind and waves have scared you to this extent. Forget it, it's good to let the world see the power of a god. With that, his figure flashed and he appeared in the sky outside the base. In the distant sky, dozens of white lights flashed across the void, bringing with them surging flames as they fiercely bombarded the upper level of the base. Lucy raised his hand indifferently, and a huge barrier was propped up. Foolish mortals of the world, I, the holy angel of heaven, have returned. From today onwards, I will be the only true God in the world, your only ruler. Those who believe in me and obey me, I will lead you to heaven. If you dare to disobey me, I will send you to hell. The gods are already dead, and the true gods have arrived. Now, let me show you the power of a true god. Boom! The first missile fiercely hit the protective barrier, and with a boom, the earth trembled. Then, countless missiles fell on the barrier like raindrops, and the terrifying shock waves stirred the space. The artificial satellite in space transmitted the clear image to the players of the leaders of the various countries, and the entire process was broadcasted live. After the first round of missile bombardment, Lucy floated in the air and waved his hand lightly, and the barrier in front of him disappeared. With his own strength, he propped up a huge barrier the size of a city. After taking the bombardment of the missiles, he remained unmoved. This strength was beyond the comprehension of humans. Even if it was an astral soul realm expert, they would at most be able to escape unscathed from the explosion of a missile. They would not be able to stand there and allow the missile to bombard them without suffering any damage. And Lucy directly propped up such a huge protective barrier. Intercepting hundreds of Earth-penetrating missiles with ease was enough to make everyone suck in a breath of cold air. In the Forbidden City's inner court, Number 1 saw the result and turned to look at White Emperor and the other experts. How is his strength compared to Dilu? This person can kill Dilu as easily as squashing an ant. Then, can Jiangshan King beat him? This can't be sure. It's not impossible. A voice sounded, and Jiangshan King and Yu Ruoyun appeared in the meeting room as if they had walked out of a different dimension. I'm as weak as a baby in front of him. Does the heavens really want to destroy our human civilization? Number 1's face was filled with worry. Why don't we surrender? A voice suddenly sounded, and immediately, everyone looked at the Lotus Emperor. Look, Lucy has already exceeded the limits of human strength. Speaking of which, it's easy for him to destroy the entire human race. There's no need for us to smash an egg against a rock, right? He didn't say that he wanted to destroy our human civilization. Why don't we surrender first? None of the people present were hot-blooded youths, and none of them had the mentality that they would rather die than live in dishonor. Moreover, their decision directly determined the fate of the human civilization, and they couldn't let their emotions affect their decisions. The most important thing to protect the human civilization was to protect. As long as they could survive, they would protect even if they had to live in disgrace. However, they wanted to surrender without even fighting. An inexplicable grievance appeared in their hearts. Was the Lotus Emperor afraid of death? When he fought against the King of Hell, he could sacrifice himself to create an opportunity for others to attack. His life had long been placed on the scales of the country and the human race. However, facing this expert that even Jiangshan King couldn't withstand with one finger, the Lotus Emperor didn't dare to gamble. Whether or not we surrender, let's first confirm his goal. If he just wants to become a god, so what if we worship him as a god? However, if he challenges the human race's bottom line, then we'd rather die than live in dishonor. The nuclear bomb will arrive in 1 minute. Let's see if this self-proclaimed god can display the power to conquer the world in the face of the strongest attack of human technology. Is this the strongest power that humans have developed in the past 10,000 years? In the god's forbidden zone, Lucy looked up at the sky with his hands behind his back, and a cold smile appeared on his face. Humans have developed technology that has distorted the path of human evolution, Lucy said calmly. Seeing Lucy block all the missiles with a wave of his hand, the birds of paradise underground were excited. They cheered at the screen. For so many years, they had been hiding in dark corners and running around like rats. They had finally made it. Lucy had the power to destroy the world with a single thought. If the countries wanted to survive, they had to submit to Lucy. As people who followed Lucy, they would naturally become people above others. Imagining the leaders of the countries bowing and groveling in front of them, their hormones immediately surged, causing them to orgasm instantly. All of a sudden, an alarm went off. In the sky, dense streams of light appeared. Humph, in the face of absolute power, it doesn't matter how many people there are. Lucy sneered disdainfully. It seemed that the deterrence of his methods just now wasn't obvious enough. Did he hear that the leaders of human civilization were the countries called the Permanent Five of the United Nations? Then I'll start with you guys and get rid of you. Let's see who dares to go against my will. The first intercontinental missile with a nuclear warhead landed, and Lucy still raised his hand gently. Boom! The moment the missile hit the barrier, a terrifying power was released. The terrifying energy released by the nuclear fission was accompanied by a strong white light, a high temperature of hundreds of millions of degrees, and a natural disaster-level shockwave. Lucy's expression immediately changed, and his disdainful eyes were filled with shock. This is impossible. This is a power that has already touched the realm of gods. This is not a power that humans should be able to control. In an instant, Lucy's heart was in turmoil. How could a group of mortals break the taboo and control the power of gods? No, this is definitely not allowed. Chapter 636. Lu Shi successfully intercepted a nuclear bomb, but he also felt threatened. However, things did not end there. Humans could not have fired only one nuclear bomb. When the aftermath of the nuclear explosion dissipated, Lu Shi raised his head with a cold gaze. However, in the next moment, his expression changed greatly. Countless intercontinental missiles rained down from the sky, each one looking exactly the same as the previous one. How can the power of God be mass-produced? Boom! Another nuclear explosion. In an instant, the second and third nuclear bombs fell one after another. Lu Shi could still use his barrier to block one nuclear bomb, but with nuclear bombs falling from the sky like rain, Lu Shi could not even take care of himself. In an instant, the barrier that Lu Shi put up with one hand shattered, and the densely packed nuclear bombs fell through the barrier. The birds of paradise who were celebrating underground seemed to have been stopped in their tracks, and the meeting room instantly became silent. Looking at the nuclear bombs above their heads getting closer and closer, everyone's forehead was covered in sweat. Boom, 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 boom. Mushroom clouds exploded one after another. Looking from space, one could even see bubbles appearing in the no-man's land and then bursting. Hiding underground could avoid the radiation of the nuclear explosion, but that did not mean that the underground could withstand the explosion of the nuclear bombs. The explosion of the first nuclear bomb had already turned the underground base upside down. After that, the other bases were blown up one after another. No matter what cultivation level the people in the Birds of Paradise's base were, They were instantly swallowed by the nuclear explosion. Destroyed birds of Paradise's base. Reward: 80 million experience points, 5 million skill points. In the Forbidden City's meeting room, a notification sounded in Wang Lan's mind. The Birds of Paradise's base is finished, Wang Lan said calmly. The Birds of Paradise's base is no longer important, the Azure Emperor said coldly. Emperor Qing said coldly. Now, this thing that had been bombed by a nuclear bomb was the greatest threat to mankind. A round of dozens of nuclear bombs bombarded, and the previous round of bombardment had shattered the entire Devil Race's fleet. Although the nuclear bombs were not a threat to Desilu, that was because Desilu could dodge the nuclear bombs head-on. However, Lu Shi did not dodge, and instead took the attacks of hundreds of nuclear bombs head-on. Waiting was incomparably torturous. Time passed by minute. 10 minutes later, the entire Forbidden Zone had been warped into a sea of red. Around the area that had been bombarded by the nuclear bomb, a large area of reflective glass appeared. Lu Shi's figure was standing in the middle of the reflection. He was not dead, and could even be said to be fine. Although the wings on his back were a little tattered, his body was still standing straight. Lu Shi slowly rose into the air, and floated in the air like a god. All humans, listen to me. You have touched upon the forbidden zone of God. Now I order you to immediately destroy all information related to technological civilization and execute all those who have mastered it. These words were transmitted through divine power into the ears of all humans. What? Execute all the people who have mastered technology? 80% of the world's population is educated, right? Which lunatic is joking? Almost no one who heard this showed fear. Instead, they found it funny. They had no idea what kind of nightmarish existence was saying this. They only thought that some lunatic was speaking through a global broadcast. When the leaders heard Lu Shi's words, their expressions changed drastically. Even some of the countries that had already taken refuge in Lucy and were temporarily hiding turned pale. Lu Shi wanted to eradicate technological civilization? Humans had accumulated for thousands of years and finally ushered in a technological explosion 500 years ago. 500 years of rapid development had finally reached the current level of civilization. You want to completely wipe it out? Violate the taboo of God? The so-called taboo of God was naturally referring to nuclear bombs. Because nuclear bombs made you feel threatened, you want to completely wipe out the achievements of thousands of years of human civilization and let humans return to barbaric and backward rules and continue to live a savage life? What kind of joke was this? If you don't do it, then I will do it myself. With that, Lu Shi's figure flashed and appeared in the sky above the nearest city. Lu Shi looked at the towering city below him, the intricate roads, and the cars driving on the road. All of this made him feel strange and terrified. For 10,000 years, without the leadership of God, humans had already gone so far on the wrong path? Since you were wrong, then I should correct you. Thinking of this, Lu Shi raised his hand and a terrifying energy ball gathered in Lu Shi's hand. Looking at this terrifying energy ball, the leaders of the various countries who were watching the live broadcast through the satellite were instantly frightened. Go dash, Lu Shi gently swung and the energy ball in the sky fell like a meteor. Boom dash, a burst of white light pierced the eyes of everyone who was watching this scene. A huge shockwave wreaked havoc. The terrifying white light was like a giant beast that kept swallowing everything around it until the white light covered the entire city. The power of this attack surpassed that of the most powerful nuclear bomb in history. A huge city with a width of 100 kilometers was completely covered by the explosion. Everyone held their breaths and stared blankly at the scene displayed on the screen. The white light finally dissipated and the terrifying shockwave continued to spread into the distance. When people saw the power of Lu Shi's attack, they couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. The entire city had turned into a piece of scorched earth. It wasn't a ruin, it wasn't a mess, it was scorched earth. The city on the scorched earth had completely disappeared. Even its former appearance no longer existed. Without a doubt, the people who lived in the city had turned into dust along with the city. Damn it! Damn it! How could he do this? How could he do this? In the International Security Committee, Leo violently slammed the table and roared angrily. He wants to destroy the world. He wants to destroy us humans. Then what do we do next? Do we fight it out with him, or compromise? Do we still have room to compromise? He wants to destroy our civilization, our entire civilization. Are humans who lose their civilization still humans? What's the difference between us and the wild beasts running on the African savanna? Then what do we do next? We are the International Security Committee. No matter what the final decision of the countries is, we are the first line of defense to maintain world peace. There is no retreat to speak of. Then, fight. Fight! Fight! The International Security Committee didn't have the right to decide the fate of humanity, but they had the right to fight. After the 5 committee members unanimously agreed on the decision to fight, the 5 of them instantly pressed the highest combat order. Woo woo woo, beep beep beep. When the alarm sounded, the mobile phones of all the agents of the International Security Committee rang at the same time. Wang Lan took out his mobile phone and glanced at it. There was only one sentence in the message. Our mission is to protect human civilization. We don't have the right to decide the fate of humanity, but we have the determination to fight to the death for human civilization. All agents of the International Security Committee, this is the final order issued by the organization. Fight, even to the last man. The International Security Committee wasn't equipped with nuclear bombs, but they were equipped with missiles. When the alarm sounded, the silos in all the bases around the world were opened. Missiles with flames rushed into the sky one after another. At this moment, Lucy once again returned to the sky above the no man's land. He gently waved his hand and the vitrified ground under his feet shattered. With a wave of his hand, the wreckage of the base buried in the ruins was dug out. The wreckage was just wreckage. There was no living person inside. Even the angel that Lucy created was only left with half of its body lying in the ruins. Lucy looked at the angel that was already half dead. His eyes were filled with anger. Damn it, damn it! Whoosh, 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 thousands of white lights appeared in the sky. Looking at the incoming missiles, Lucy didn't dare to take them head-on this time. His body flashed and instantly disappeared through space. He's gone. Where is he? In the conference room watching the live broadcast, there was a burst of exclamations. But no one thought that Lucy had run away. Lucy was an existence that had withstood hundreds of nuclear bombs head-on. Using nuclear bombs to attack such an expert was like using a cannon to kill a mosquito. The probability of hitting was as small as 1 in 100 million. As long as Lucy wasn't hit, the threat of nuclear bombs didn't exist. Lucy used his strength to prove his strength. Humans used nuclear bombs to prove the threat of humans. But in the face of Lucy's request, did humans have any room to resist? It was only a matter of time before such a powerful existence wanted to destroy the world. Found it! A technician suddenly shouted. The satellite image suddenly changed. In the next scene, Lucy's figure appeared again. This time, he appeared at the International Security Committee headquarters. Lucy crossed his arms and looked at the densely packed Takashi Hoshi around him. His lips curled into a cold smile. Is this the strongest combat power of humans after 10,000 years? How laughable! Humans have indeed gone down the wrong path. Lucy smiled faintly. Kill! The surrounding star martial artists roared and rushed towards Lu Shi. Lu Shi crossed his arms and didn't move at all. Ripples instantly appeared around his body, and everyone who rushed towards Lu Shi was annihilated by the ripples. This scene terrified the leaders of the various countries. These were all Takashi Hoshi at the Star Sea Realm. All Takashi Hoshi at the Star Sea Realm were wiped out in an instant. If this was the case, Lucy could wipe out an army of 100,000 pure star sea realm cultivators with a wave of his hand. In an instant, Lucy was the only one left in the sky. He slowly raised his hand and suddenly slammed it down. Boom! The International Security Committee headquarters under his feet seemed to have been hit by something terrifying. The ground collapsed and the earth cracked. A huge palm print that covered the entire headquarters appeared on the ground. The International Security Committee was annihilated. Ha ha! Ha ha ha! Humans, are you still going to put up a resistance? Starting today, I will destroy 10 cities every day. And my method of destroying cities is to completely wipe them out. So, if you don't want me to do it myself, do it yourself. Remove everything related to technology from humans. I won't give you time to think. As he spoke, Lucian waved his hand and an energy beam shot out from his palm. It instantly crossed hundreds of kilometers and hit the nearest city. Boom. Chapter 637. This be asterisk starred. Emperor Bai roared in anger in the meeting room. There might be people in the world who could accept him as a god, and there might be a small number who could accept giving up on technology. However, no one would be willing to accept the elimination of everyone who had knowledge of technology. Technological civilization was not something that existed, but it existed in every person in the civilized world. If you want to kill everyone who had knowledge of technology, you might as well kill everyone who was not an idiot or an illiterate. No one would agree to that. Boom. Suddenly, a white light shone from the ruins beneath his feet. The Holy Grail rushed out from the ruins and smashed towards Lucy's head. Holy Grail! Lucy snorted in disdain and swatted the Holy Grail away like a fly. He raised his hand and a terrifying suction force came from Lucy's hand. A figure rushed out from the ruins and landed in Lucy's palm. Cough, cough, cough. Yulia's face was covered in blood and she coughed out golden blood. Holy Lady! You destroyed the sacrifice I prepared for a year. I will use your blood to open the door to the Garden of Eden. Dream on! Yulia roared with difficulty. Suddenly, there was a sound of something breaking through the air. The Holy Grail shone brightly and a trace of divine power rippled out from it. Divine power? Lucy looked at Yulia in shock. He raised his other hand and a barrier rippled out from his palm. Boom! The Holy Grail fiercely bombarded the barrier, causing space to distort and ripple. You can activate the divine power of the Holy Grail? Looks like you are not as simple as I thought. I am getting more and more satisfied with you. Wang Lan's face flashed with confusion. A voice kept telling him to go over and save Yulia. Go over quickly. She is your comrade, your friend. You can't just watch her get killed. All the members of the International Security Committee have died in battle. You're standing here. Now, a woman is standing up for humanity in the face of disaster. She's fighting for the last dignity of humanity, but you're still watching. Were you standing here when Lucy came to Jade State and wanted to destroy the city in Jade State? Suddenly, Wang Lan raised his head. The fighting spirit in his eyes soared. He gently took a step forward and his figure disappeared. Wang Lan. Yu Ruoyun reached out to grab Wang Lan, but in the end, she could only leave a corner of Wang Lan's shirt. Wang Lan's teleportation was so fast that no one could react. The only one who noticed Wang Lan's determination was Yu Ruoyun, who had been paying attention to Wang Lan all this time. In the headquarters of the International Security Committee, Wang Lan appeared in the ruins. Lu Shi naturally wouldn't take the appearance of an ant to heart. He didn't even glance at Wang Lan who had appeared. Void Amethyst Eye. Starry Sky God Arrow, Grand Sun True Fire. In an instant, Wang Lan poured all her astral power into the arrow. The space rippled, and the Starry Sky God Arrow left the bowstring in an instant. At this moment, Lu Shi merely lowered his head and glanced at it. The divine power of the Holy Grail in front of him was actually stimulated. However, it didn't matter. This trace of divine power was so weak. If he hadn't been sealed for 10,000 years, if he hadn't been tortured for 10,000 years, with his previous divine power, destroying this trace of divine power would be as easy as breathing. The arrow pierced Lucy's arm. Lucy looked at the arrow in his arm in astonishment, his face full of astonishment. This arrow actually managed to hurt me? This arrow can actually hurt me, a god? Lucy couldn't understand. It was also because of that moment of distraction that the Holy Grail suddenly broke through Lucy's defensive barrier. With a loud bang, it slammed into Lucy's chest. The space distorted and Lu Shi's figure flew backward. Wang Lan hurriedly flashed to Yulia's side, and a life halo enveloped Yulia. Yulia's wounds healed quickly. She had just wiped the blood from her mouth when space twisted and Lucy appeared in front of them. The Grand Sun primordial fire was burning around Lucy's arm. Lucy glanced at it and waved his hand. The Grand Sun primordial fire was extinguished. I was wondering how you could hurt me with your weak strength. So it's the Grand Sun primordial fire. Wang Lan grabbed Yulia's arm tightly in front of someone as strong as Lucy. He didn't even dare to teleport now because teleportation was one of Lucy's basic abilities. He could teleport from the Forbidden Zone to the International Security Committee. Even if Wang Lan teleported away, he could reach the Jade State in an instant. The king of Jiangshan once said that as long as he remembered a person's aura, he would be able to find him in a crowd no matter where he hid. For someone as strong as Lucy, his range of perception was on a global level. Coming to this point, Wang Lan suddenly felt that she was quite foolish. He knew that it was impossible for him to win, and that he had no chance of winning, but in the end, he still came. The world was about to be destroyed. Wang Lan couldn't think of any way to use the power of mortals to fight against gods. Instead of dying after watching the entire human civilization be destroyed, it was better to die before the human civilization was destroyed. Lucy looked at Wang Lan curiously. His eyes were spinning like a whirlpool. But gradually, Lucy's eyes turned serious. He couldn't see Wang Lan's life imprint. It was as if Wang Lan had never existed and shouldn't exist. On the other side, in the Forbidden City, King Jiangshan let out a long sigh and slowly stood up. Ancestor, looks like my mission has arrived. The king of Jiangshan sighed with the air of an old man even though his face was obviously very young. King Jiangshan, can you deal with him? If I'm willing to sacrifice my old bones, I should be able to hurt him. In terms of the result, I'm afraid it won't help. But, King Jiangshan smiled gently. If you want me to see so many of my race die an unnatural death and live an ignoble life, I can't do it. Wang Lan is more decisive than me. Instead of watching the human race go extinct, it's better for me to die and flood the heavens. These words sounded irresponsible, but they were like a heavy hammer that struck everyone's hearts. White Emperor and the others immediately sat up and clenched their fists tightly. The veins on their foreheads bulged, but they couldn't say a word. King Jiang River gently took a step forward and disappeared into the void. Ancestor, Yu Ruoyun exclaimed, but there was no trace of King Jiangshan in front of her. Where did you come from, kid? Lucy slowly approached Wang Lan. The terrifying aura seemed to come from ancient times and suppressed Wang Lan. You shouldn't be here. Me? I'm here for the human race. Wang Lan felt as if all the bones in his body were about to be crushed, making cracking sounds. The star power around him surged, and the self-healing skill was activated to repair the damage caused by the collapse of his body. Killing intent shot out from Lucy's eyes, but suddenly, the terrifying pressure disappeared. Lucy curiously looked back at the eastern sky. An auspicious cloud hung in the sky, and a heavenly sword hung down from the void. An immortal stepped on a flying sword and flew rapidly from the void. Lucy frowned slightly as he watched King Jiangshan land in front of Wang Lan with his white clothes fluttering in the wind. The two of you go back. King Jiangshan. Wang Lan's eyes were filled with surprise, but they dimmed instantly. Without facing Lucy head-on, people would never understand Lucy's power. And because he had faced Lucy before, Wang Lan knew better than anyone that Lucy was absolutely invincible in this world. Even King Jiangshan, who killed Di Lu with one strike, and even if he reached the half-immortal realm, he was definitely not Lucy's match. "What's the point of us going back?" Wang Lan asked indifferently. After receiving the answer, King Jiangshan didn't say anything else and looked at Lucy. "Western Heaven, 12-winged divine angel, Eastern Heavenly Court?" Lucy asked with a serious expression. "It's not too late for you to stop now. Don't be stubborn." King Jiangshan gently raised his sword. Sword chi hummed, heaven and earth Tao rhymes appeared, and multicolored light illuminated heaven and earth. "No, you don't have immortal chi on you. You're not from the Eastern Heavenly Court. The Heavenly Court only asked me to pass a message. If you don't listen, the next one to come will probably be the Four Extremities Emperor." "Ha ha ha, don't bluff. If the Eastern Heavenly Court is still here, how can humans be so weak? If the Heavenly Court is still here, then let the gods and Buddhas suppress me. Today, I will fight the entire Heavenly Court with my own strength." "If that's the case, then let's fight." King Jiangshan instantly opened his eyes, and a torrential sword intent shot out from his eyes. As the aura gushed out, a sword aura instantly condensed in front of him. The moment the sword aura appeared, King Jiangshan's black hair quickly turned snow-white as if it was dyed by frost. His ruddy and handsome face became visibly old and full of wrinkles. Looking at this scene, Wang Lan's heart suddenly trembled. King Jiangshan's sword actually sacrificed all of his essence, energy, and even life. In my life, I have only nurtured one sword. No one can stop the foot in front of me. Lu Shi, take my sword. Boom! King Jiangshan's figure expanded, and he instantly arrived in front of Lu Shi. Lu Shi raised his palm with a disdainful expression. A person who didn't even have immortal chi was ultimately just a mortal. Trying to kill a god with the power of a mortal? A mantis trying to stop a chariot. Suddenly, Lu Shi's expression changed, and he looked at the sword that was attacking him with a face full of shock. This sword was different from what he had imagined. Although there was no immortal chi, it carried the will of heaven and earth and the laws of the gods. Seeing King Jiangshan instantly withered, Lu Shi suddenly understood a little. In the Eastern immortal arts, the concept was the most important, followed by power. And without power to touch the concept, one would definitely be punished by the heavens. Using power that exceeded the rules had a price to pay. But this sword that paid a price could truly hurt him. How was that possible? Boom! The sword aura hit Lu Shi's chest, and countless sword auras rushed into Lu Shi's body like a storm. Lu Shi's body froze, and he stared at King Jiangshan with his round eyes in horror. "You actually, really, cut off my origin?" King Jiangshan smiled faintly. You've lost for sure." As his voice fell, King Jiangshan seemed to turn into a breeze and disappeared. Wang Lan had yet to recover from the scene of King Jiangshan's disappearance when suddenly, a loud sound came from Lu Shi's body. Boom! 2 of the 12 pairs of wings on his back instantly exploded. A 12-winged divine angel had actually become an 8-winged blazing angel? Although the 8-winged blazing angel was still an incomparably powerful god, he had already lost his absolute control over the laws. Wang Lan and Yulia's eyes lit up at the same time. Chapter 638. Yulia waved her hand, and the Holy Grail above her head shone brightly, turning into a stream of light that shot towards Lu Shi. Wang Lan's astral power surged, and a dense green mist appeared in his palm. Even though his astral power had reached the late stage of the astral sea realm, it was still difficult to control annihilation. However, after annihilation was pushed to the diamond level, his control had improved significantly. Lu Shi suddenly woke up from his shock, and a terrifying light shot out from his eyes. With a boom, he slapped the Holy Grail away. At this moment, Wang Lan stepped out of the void and appeared in front of Lu Shi. He pressed his palm on Lu Shi's chest and activated the annihilation law. Lu Shi's chest was penetrated by Wang Lan like water without any resistance. A huge hole the size of a head appeared in Lu Shi's chest. He did it! Everyone who saw this scene waved their fists excitedly and roared. Even if this attack could not kill Lu Shi, it could still severely injure him. While everyone was cheering, Wang Lan's heartstrings tightened, and he felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. Lu Shi's cold eyes stared at Wang Lan. Suddenly, a white light flashed before his eyes, and Wang Lan's body fell to the ground like a meteorite. Boom! The earth cracked, and a terrifying eye of earth slowly opened its eyes on the ground. Wang Lan, who was in the middle of the deep pit, spat out a mouthful of blood, and stared blankly at the sky. There was a pitch-black spear in Wang Lan's chest. It was this terrifying spear that restricted all of Wang Lan's Takashi Hoshi techniques, including light of life, rebirth, and self-healing. In the sky, Lu Shi's huge wound healed quickly. Its slightly flapping wings sprinkled specks of starlight. Suddenly, the pair of wings behind him flickered like thunder in a thunderstorm. Boom! With a loud sound, the pair of wings exploded again. After all, King Jiangshan had used his life as the price for a nomological sword strike. However, having his wings broken by Wang Lan made Lu Shi furious. A mortal who couldn't even touch the edges of the laws actually relied on such a despicable sneak attack. Unforgivable. You're good, you're very good. Even you can hurt me. Isn't my title of God a joke? Why did you stop laughing? Why aren't you smiling? Lu Shi stared down at Wang Lan from above, his face twisted with madness. Wang Lan. Yulia, who was covered in blood, struggled to get up from the rubble, but her cry was filled with despair. He had tried his best. He had tried his best. But in the end, he still lost. Even though Lucy only had 7 pairs of wings left, he still stood firmly in the realm of God. So what if all the Star Soul Realm cultivators in the world rushed over? In Lu Shi's eyes, it was just a wave of his hand. Wang Lan, who was nailed in the deep pit, breathed heavily. He opened his mouth slightly and blood flowed out, blocking his throat. No matter how hard he tried to swallow, the blood seemed to be endless. The long spear in his chest quickly swallowed Wang Lan's blood and life. Wang Lan's consciousness felt a little blurry. It seemed that he had reached his limit. Am I going to die? A lamp appeared in front of Wang Lan. It seemed to be a merry-go-round. Child, suddenly, a voice sounded in Wang Lan's ears. Wang Lan's gradually sinking consciousness suddenly woke up as if he had been electrocuted. Child, who are you? Wang Lan couldn't speak, but his consciousness could ask. The pain in his body instantly left him. Wang Lan seemed to be in an empty universe, surrounded by nothingness, surrounded by this voice. Child, you haven't lost. Stand up, you haven't lost. The voice was full of encouragement and love. It was like a gentle mother squatting down and telling her child to be brave and to work hard. Wang Lan wanted to open his eyes. Suddenly, his consciousness seemed to be sucked away by something. In an instant, a piercing pain came from his chest. Lu Shi's face suddenly changed. He lowered his head and stared at Wang Lan, or rather, the trembling long spear in Wang Lan's chest. Wang, bang! Suddenly, the pitch-black spear shattered, as if it was a piece of broken glass. Without the suppression of the long spear, the self-healing talent immediately began to repair Wang Lan's body. The long-lost warmth enveloped Wang Lan. And Wang Lan's body wasn't the only thing that was repaired. The power that emerged from the depths of his soul was also used. It was a power that was full of encouragement, hope, and gentleness. The power was so gentle, but so resolute. A call came from the depths of the earth. Wang Lan slowly stood up. When he stood on the ground again, the injuries on his body had already disappeared. Seeing Wang Lan stand up again, everyone who was watching this scene tightly clenched their fists. Hold on a little longer. He had to hold on a little longer. All the Star Soul Realm experts had already rushed over. He had to hold on. Although Star Soul Realm experts were very fast, even the fastest Thunder God would need half an hour to reach the battlefield. Not everyone could shatter the void like King Jiang Shui, and not everyone could teleport like Wang Lan. Wang Lan slowly stretched out his hand. The ground beneath his feet trembled violently. Suddenly, a silver rod slowly rose from the ground and was held in Wang Lan's hand. After pulling it out, it was actually a completely silver long spear. The moment he saw the long spear, Lu Shi's face changed. His cold face was filled with fear. Anubis spear? Impossible. Wasn't the Anubis spear destroyed by Gaia? How could it be? Instantly, cold sweat seeped out of Lu Shi's forehead, and a possibility exploded in his chest. Gaia? Gaia's consciousness is still in the land? Gaia hasn't fallen? The revived Lu Shi sensed the heaven and earth. There were no more gods in this world. Since there were no gods, there was naturally nothing that could threaten him. He had witnessed the destruction of heaven. There was no Olympus, no Norse temples, and no Eastern heavenly court. He was the only true god in this world. He should be invincible. He should rebuild the laws and establish order. However, Lu Shi didn't expect that just because he couldn't sense the gods didn't mean that they had fallen. The gods might have fallen into a deep sleep, or they might have transformed into another form that existed between heaven and earth. The appearance of the god-slaying spear made Lu Shi realize how careless his previous actions were. A powerful force that he had never experienced before filled his body. Wang Lan held the spear tightly. At this moment of glory, he even dared to ride a bicycle on the highway. His eyes stared at Lu Shi, who was above him. The ground beneath his feet instantly exploded, and gravel shot out in all directions like bullet. Wang Lan broke through the sound barrier, and a sonic cloud appeared beside Wang Lan. In the next moment, Wang Lan had already raised the Anubis spear and stabbed at Lu Shi. Gaia, you actually tricked me. Of course, Lu Shi wouldn't just sit there and wait for death. He crossed his hands and gathered all his divine power in his palms. A dazzling holy light shield appeared. The moment the Anubis spear stabbed, it blocked the attack. Crack! A crisp sound suddenly appeared on the holy light shield, and cracks appeared. Lu Shi's face instantly revealed a terrified expression. Wang Lan raised the Anubis spear and stabbed out fiercely. Boom! The spear stabbed Lu Shi's chest, and the spear pierced through his body. Lu Shi lowered his head in fear, and then stiffly raised his head to look at Wang Lan. Boom! The pair of wings behind him exploded, and Lu Shi's cultivation level dropped again. Then, 2 more explosions sounded. 3 pairs of wings exploded almost simultaneously. Lu Shi quickly retreated and looked at Wang Lan in fear. The spear in Wang Lan's hand flashed continuously like a poorly connected electric light. Then, it dissipated in a flash of white light, turning into stars that fell like rain. With only 4 pairs of wings left, Lu Shi's strength dropped to the peak of the astral soul realm. If the king of River Mountain was still here, he wouldn't need to use the human sword to kill Lu Shi. Wang Lan, we're here! Wang Lan, hang in there! Loud shouts sounded from the sky, accompanied by the sound of the air being pierced. Dozens of rays of light pierced through the void and rushed over. Lu Shi's face instantly became extremely gloomy. Although he still had an advantage in terms of cultivation level, he didn't have any advantage in terms of strength. After being sealed for 10,000 years, his strength was already less than 1/10,000th of his peak. Humans, just you wait. The next time I come to the world, it will be the time I destroy the world and be reborn. Lu Shi said ruthlessly, and the space around him distorted. Wang Lan was about to stop him, but endless weakness engulfed him like a tsunami, instantly swallowing Wang Lan's consciousness into endless darkness. Lu Shi disappeared, and Wang Lan fell from the sky. Yulia hurriedly reached out to catch Wang Lan. After checking him, she heaved a long sigh of relief. He was just exhausted. This battle was shocking to the eyes and the heart. This battle was also frightening to the heart. No one would have thought that the apocalyptic crisis would come so suddenly and silently. Originally, everyone thought that the apocalypse would come from the demons. Now, they understood that the demons were only one of the dangers. Mission completed. Overturning the tide. Reward: 100 million experience points, 10 million skill points. Boom! Wang Lan's body suddenly trembled, and surging star power gushed out. Star C7's experience bar was instantly filled, and he broke through to Star C8. Then, Star C8's experience bar was half filled. The group of the strongest Star Soul Realm cultivators in the world all looked at Wang Lan blankly. Your last breakthrough seems to be a joke. Wang Lan slowly woke up, and found himself in Yulia's arms. He hurriedly broke free and stood up nervously. Where's Lu Shi? He ran away. Wang Lan, what happened at the end? How did you? I don't know either. At that time, I felt like I was going to die. Suddenly, a voice told me that I hadn't lost. Then, I woke up and I had a very high level of power. Then, that spear was summoned by me. At that time, it felt like I was being seized. I can't even remember what happened. Sorry, we're late. Bai Di and the others came to Wang Lan's side and patted Wang Lan's shoulder. If we had come earlier, we could have kept Lu Shi even if we had to risk our lives. Four-winged battle angel, slightly higher than us by a level. He doesn't dare to jump around so easily now. This battle we won, Yulia said in a low voice, holding back her excitement. But in this world, there's no king of Jiangshan anymore. Wang Lan looked at the sky, and the king of Jiangshan's world-destroying sword still appeared in his mind. Chapter 639. This battle made all the countries in the world realize how fragile their lives were in the face of absolute power. Life had always been cautious and fearful from the beginning to the end. From the Cambrian, Ordovician, Devonian, time after time, extinction followed by extinction. Species disappeared one after another. What life pursued and worked hard for was nothing more than survival. Survival was already a luxury, let alone civilization. The appearance of humans was a miracle, and it was even more impossible for a civilization to survive until the end without any disasters. Since the appearance of humans, they had encountered countless disasters, but this time they were the closest to extinction. Everyone broke out in a cold sweat. Their legs were trembling from the lingering fear. It was because of such a terrifying experience that the joy of surviving a disaster was so intense and crazy. 99.9% of the people did not even know what had happened. They even thought that yesterday was like the day before, and today was as sunny as today. They enjoyed the afternoon sun, strolled under the shade of the trees, looked back at the children running happily, and sighed with a clear laughter. Time was peaceful, but they did not know that they had brushed shoulders with death yesterday. 2 cities were destroyed, and a sacred international security committee was annihilated. Millions of humans died in an instant, and all these were suppressed by the countries, because if they announced it at this time, it would only cause panic. Rather than die knowing everything, it was better to live without knowing anything. Lu Shi was still alive, but his threat had been reduced to the lowest point. Although Lu Shi might still be the strongest creature in the world, and he had the power to surpass all the astral soul realm, at least he had been knocked off his pedestal. Lu Shi, who was no longer a god, could not withstand a nuclear bomb, nor could he withstand the joint attack of more than 5 astral soul realm experts. Lu Shi, who had lost his divine power, must be hiding in a corner quietly licking his wounds. It would be difficult to find him, but the world would not give up. Even if they had to search every corner of the world, they would find this threat. On the other side, Jade State. In the highest meeting room of the Forbidden City, Wang Lan stood in front of the Standing Committee of the United Nations in his military uniform with a serious face. On behalf of the Supreme Council of the White Eagle Nation, I confer upon General Wang Lan the title of Honorary 5-Star General of the White Eagle Nation. You are the hero who saved the world, the superhero of all mankind. On behalf of the Arctic Bear, I bestow upon General Wang Lan the title of War God. Honorary 5-star General. You are our friend forever. I represent, except for the Jade State, all of the 5 permanent countries had conferred the honorary rank of 5-star General to Wang Lan. 5-star generals were already the highest-ranking generals in the world, and their status was extremely honorable. Apart from Jade State, there was only one other reason. Other countries conferred honorary 5-star generals, but Jade State conferred the actual rank of general. Wang Lan was promoted again. In the autumn of 22 years old, he not only became the youngest general in the Jade State, but also the youngest general in the world. On behalf of the United Nations, I award Mr. Wang Lan the title of Hero of Mankind, Guardian of Mankind, and the Hero of Civilization Medal. Mr. Wang Lan, you are the first person in history to receive this supreme medal. Congratulations and thank you. Wang Lan looked ahead expressionlessly. She seemed to be unfazed. However, in reality, Wang Lan's emotions had been blocked by the waves of notifications in his mind. Sacrificial item found. Would you like to keep it in your backpack? Yes. It had been a hectic and tiring day. When Wang Lan returned home in Jindo City, he felt that he could take off his face and throw it into the washing machine for a good wash. After laughing for an entire day, his face was stiff. Are you tired? Jiang Xinyu came to Wang Lan's side in an extremely gentle manner and gently massaged Wang Lan's shoulders. A fragrance wafted over, causing Wang Lan's body to stiffen. Don't move. Let me massage you, Jiang Xinyu said again. Wang Lan frowned slightly. He felt that something was wrong with Jiang Xinyu. Suddenly, Jiang Xinyu hugged Wang Lan's neck so hard that she buried her entire face in Wang Lan's neck. Warm tears soaked Wang Lan's collar. Wang Lan, I'm so scared. I'm really scared. The moment I saw you nailed to the ground, my mind went blank. I'm so scared that you'll really die. I'm scared to watch you die. Wang Lan's body relaxed. He gently patted Jiang Xinyu's head. If I die, the whole world won't be able to live. What's there to be afraid of? I'll just die first and you guys will die later. As long as I can save the whole world, I won't die. In the past, I would lie to you and say that there's nothing in the world that can stop me. Even if there is, I can guarantee that I'll survive. But now I can't because I have no way out. In the past, I could run if I can't win. After all, there's someone taller than me. But now, I suddenly realized that I've become that taller person. In front of me stood the enemy, and behind me stood the civilization of mankind. It's not that I can't run. It's that I can't run. Do you understand? I understand. But, can you understand how I felt at that time? Of course I understand. Because when I thought I was about to die, my mind was filled with you, only me. Only you. Wang Lan turned his face away. Looking at Jiang Xinyu's watery eyes, he reached out and hugged Jiang Xinyu's shoulder. Then, he took a bite. The next day, Wang Lan slowly woke up. Jiang Xinyu was already up. Hearing the movements in the kitchen, Wang Lan lazily turned over. This year, Jiang Xinyu finally mastered the basics of cooking. At least the dishes she made were not dark cuisine. Without the soft thing in his arms, he felt that he couldn't sleep well. He sat up, put on his clothes, and got out of bed. Xinyu, how much time do we have left? Wang Lan stretched and walked to the kitchen door. Indefinitely, Jiang Xinyu speechlessly rolled her eyes at Wang Lan and brought out breakfast from the kitchen. You forgot, the International Security Committee is no more. I just didn't react in time. Wang Lan reached out his hand to the breakfast, but it was slapped down by Jiang Xinyu. Go wash up before eating. After quickly washing up, Wang Lan came to his seat. Looking at the breakfast in front of him, he felt a lot of emotions. It's good to be alive. Yeah, it's good to be alive. It's even better to be able to sit and enjoy the happiness of having multiple partners. Jiang Xinyu picked up 2 pieces of toast, sandwiched the poached egg, salad dressing, and ham in the middle, and took a big bite. Wang Lan trembled slightly. He suddenly felt that the bread in his hand was a little hot. Eat, what are you doing? Although my cooking isn't as good as Cece's, it's not that bad, right? Oh, I was a little distracted. Wang Lan secretly glanced at Jiang Xinyu, but Jiang Xinyu didn't have any special expression on her face. I'm going shopping with Cece later. Remember to wash the plates after breakfast. Don't you need me to go with you? Forget it, seeing how weak you are, I'll be merciful and let you go. Weak? Say that again if you dare. That's not what someone said last night. Shut up. Jiang Xinyu's ears suddenly turned red, and she angrily roared. Are you sure you don't need me to go with you? No need. Jiang Xinyu put on her sunglasses, waved her hand, and stepped into the elevator. After Jiang Xinyu disappeared into the elevator, Wang Lan frowned. What she said at breakfast today seemed unintentional, but with Xinyu's usual style, she probably said it on purpose. But she didn't ask, didn't test. Wang Lan muttered, rubbing his chin. Unless it's already confirmed? Wang Lan couldn't help but panic. How could it be? I haven't been hanging out with Cece recently. How did she know? However, Jiang Xinyu's reaction made Wang Lan secretly sigh. She didn't get angry, and she still went shopping with Cece. What did she mean? Sit and enjoy the happiness of having multiple partners? Why does this sound like some kind of hint? Soon, Wang Lan tossed aside the messy thoughts in his mind. He had just received an item that could be sacrificed yesterday. It had been a long time since he received an item that could be sacrificed. The Cybertron planet that he opened previously had refreshed his understanding of the items that could be sacrificed. In the past, Wang Lan thought that the items that could be exchanged for were the Holy Garment, Soul Slasher, or Digimon. But after the Cybertron planet, Wang Lan suddenly felt that perhaps he could exchange for monsters, Ultraman, or something like that in the future. If he could get a Holy Light Stick, he could directly end the game. Even if the demon god returned, would he be able to fight against the Emperor of the Universe and protect the peace of the multiverse? Speaking of the Cybertron planet, Wang Lan had just observed a few days ago. The Cybertron planet had evolved into an era where races were fighting for hegemony. But it still hadn't evolved into powerful equipment like firearms and laser weapons. Now, it was at most relying on the strength of its teeth to fight. It had only been 2 years, and he was already very satisfied with this speed. Wang Lan believed that as long as Cybertron was given 5 more years, no, even if it was just 3 years, the Cybertron planet would be able to evolve into a true galactic overlord. When the demon's army attacked, the Cybertron army would be able to fight against the demon's army as equals. Wang Lan took out the item that he had exchanged for, immersed his consciousness into the system, and focused his attention on the sacrifice. Boom! The badge in the system exploded, and a gorgeous merry-go-round appeared in front of Wang Lan's eyes. The merry-go-round's main scenes were still anime and game scenes. The item that he had exchanged for this time should be from the anime. Although there was no Ultraman, there were still many unsolvable existences in the anime. The merry-go-round flashed by quickly. Some scenes left a deep impression on him, while others were blurry. Wang Lan had seen them in his previous life. The merry-go-round gradually slowed down, and finally, it stopped on a pair of eyes. Looking at this pair of eyes, Wang Lan's expression suddenly froze. This pair of eyes was too familiar and too shocking. This was a pair of bright red eyes, and in the eyes, a boomerang was slowly spinning. Obtained item, Kamui Sharingan. Do you wish to withdraw it? Wait, people without Uchiha bloodline can't use Sharingan, right? Wang Lan hurriedly asked. The sacrifice item will remove all settings that are unfavorable to the host. Please don't worry too much. The system's cold voice sounded, and Wang Lan let out a long sigh of relief. Withdraw. In an instant, Wang Lan only felt a chill in his eyes. When he opened them again, A pair of Manjikyu Sharingan slowly rotated in Wang Lan's eyes. Chapter 640. Wang Lan has a deep impression of Kamyui's power. Uchiha Obito played with all the masters in the world with only one Kamui. As for Kakashi's half Kamui, it's simply an insult to Kamui. Of course, it's also possible that Kakashi doesn't have the Uchiha's bloodline, so he can't master Kamui. The root of Kamui lies in the Kamui space, so naturally, he wants to test the power of Kamui. Opening his eyes, Kuroto's star power instantly rushed into his eyes like a river bursting through a dam. Fusion space found, do you want to fuse it? Suddenly, a prompt sounded in his mind. Wang Lan quickly sank into the system, and a new skill icon appeared on the system panel. Talent ability, Kamui. But there was no skill level, indicating that this skill can't be upgraded. Along with Kamui, another Takashi Hoshi skill flashed, and sure enough, it was Wang Lan's only space-type Takashi Hoshi skill, Void Storage. Need 100,000 skill points to fuse 2 Takashi Hoshi skills? For the requirement of only 100,000 skill points, Wang Lan didn't even think about it and agreed. When Wang Lan confirmed the fusion of skills, in an instant, Void Storage and Kamui's skill icons collided together. A new Diamond-level skill appeared. Dimensional Space. Diamond Level 1, 01000000. A message instantly exploded in Wang Lan's mind. The dimensional space contains all the functions of Kamui, but it has evolved the Kamui space. This space is independent of all other spaces, and no matter where, it can be connected to this space. After the fusion of the two, the entrance to the void storage disappeared, and the space is independent, so there is no problem of how big the space is or how big the space door is. As long as Wang Lan wants, he can instantly put an airplane into the Kamui space, of course, including people. Moreover, the environment of the space can be automatically controlled by Wang Lan's thoughts, and Wang Lan has become the master of this space. The space can also hold living people, and if the world is peaceful in the future, when there is no need for the protection of Takashi Hoshi, Wang Lan can do miracles even as a porter. Thinking about it, moving a huge mountain was as easy as eating and drinking. If his astral power was strong enough, Wang Lan could even store a city, a continent, or even a planet. His thoughts were like a runaway wild horse. He couldn't pull it back no matter how hard he tried. In the past, Wang Lan's spatial attribute could only be used for self-protection and escape. But now, with Shun Wei in his hands, Wang Lan could use spatial slash, turning his body into a void, and teleporting through space. His strength had increased by another huge step. His phone rang. Wang Lan looked at it and saw that it was Jiang Xinyu calling. She quickly picked up the phone. What's wrong? Did you buy too many things and need my help? We have spatial equipment, okay? How much more can we have? Cece and I are going out for a meal. Let's go together. Okay, where are you? I'll be right there. In the spring of the year 5023, the Earth came back to life, and everything came back to life. It was time for felines to mate again. Wrong, it should be the time for thousands of students to say goodbye again. After the war with Lucy, the International Security Committee began to rebuild. As one of the few surviving senior agents of the International Security Committee, Wang Lan naturally joined the rebuilding. After half a year of busy work, the International Security Committee was rebuilt. Fortunately, only the headquarters was destroyed. The rest of the branches were still there, and the agents who carried out official duties all over the world were also preserved. After the rebuilding of the International Security Committee was completed, the raging desolate team that Wang Lan was in was about to retire. The original plan was to work in the International Security Committee for a year. Now that the one-year deadline was up, the Jade State's Special Forces plan should also be launched. The contract was about to expire, but Wang Lan and the other three had no intention of renewing it. This made the new 5 members of the International Security Committee a little angry. Whether it was glib words or sincere words, as long as there was a chance, they would go and persuade the 4 of them. Wang Lan was so annoyed that he dragged the 3 of them to the Shen Wei dimension to play mahjong. Anyway, in the Shen Wei dimension, Wang Lan's existence was like a god. If the sun wanted to shine, the sea would appear, and if the world was destroyed, he would not be hurt at all. This was the greatest value of Wang Lan's Shen Wei dimension. Even if the end of the world really came, Wang Lan could stuff a large group of people into the dimension and then close the dimension. Unless the demons blew up the entire sky blue planet, when they left, they could open the dimension and rebuild their home. The Shen Wei dimension was another kind of Noah's Arkansas. Although it was a helpless start, at least it could preserve the fire of civilization. Lan Zi, what are your plans? When are we going back to China? Su Xianwen stepped barefoot on the beach and picked up a stone to play with. We'll go back in 2 days. Anyway, none of you should run away. Just follow me. Heavenly Sword Bureau? Su Xianwen asked. I'm already an admiral. Do you think it's possible for me to join the Heavenly Sword Bureau? It has to be a new department. Which one of the existing departments would welcome me? Wouldn't I take over the position of the highest leader? New department? What department? Jade State's version of the International Security Committee. The name hasn't been decided yet. I'll be the highest leader of the new department and the direct leader of the first department. I'll be directly under the cabinet and not under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of National Defense. I'll have the highest authority in case of an accident. I won't have to answer to anyone for my actions, and I'll have the final right to explain. Don't have to answer to anyone? Including the cabinet? Including. Damn, this is beyond the law. They can do whatever they want. Why would the higher-ups allow such a department to be established? Did you get carried away? Originally, this department was just a combat department. The original plan was to form 8 elite troops that could change the outcome of a battle with millions of people. However, the battle half a year ago had caused this plan to change. Humans have survived until now and we've won countless times in the long history of survival. However, the countless species that originated from the same origin and silently disappeared in the long history told us that no matter how many times we win, even if we lose once, we'll lose completely. The dinosaurs once dominated the world for 200 million years, but in the end, they disappeared in an instant under an asteroid. It was a sudden disaster. We didn't even know what was going on before we received our lunchboxes. Therefore, the purpose of the establishment of this department changed. It became to protect the last spark of human civilization. For this purpose, we can keep it a secret from anyone and not answer to anyone. Originally, I shouldn't have been chosen for this department. I'm not suitable for it. However, I happen to be free and the world is more assured of me. Therefore, this task fell into my hand. Of course, we'll still fight when it's time to fight and protect when it's time to do so. Our daily job is to think of ways to protect the last spark of human civilization. Like this divine power space. The divine power space is the ultimate insurance. Moreover, I didn't reveal the secret of the divine power space. If it's not necessary, don't reveal it either. Although the divine power space is powerful, there are still flaws. Even if there aren't any now, if the enemy knows about it, they'll definitely be able to create flaws. 3 days later, Wang Lan's group of 4 finally rejected the International Security Committee's invitation to stay and took a plane back to Shanghai. After arriving in Shanghai, Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu directly returned to Phoenix Plaza. Xie Sisi and Su Xianwen went to Jinling Cebu Gakuen. Everyone had graduated and needed to go back to finish the graduation procedures. The next day, Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu went to Shanghai Cebu Gakuen. They had only left for a little over a year, but it felt like a lifetime had passed. Looking at the young students coming and going in the small courtyard, the scene of when they first came to report in seemed like yesterday. They didn't expect to become seniors who were close to graduation so quickly. After old CI passed away, Di Lao also passed away half a year later. At that time, Wang Lan was investigating a base of the birds of paradise. By the time he found out, Di Lao had already been buried for 7 days. After Di Lao passed away, he was posthumously conferred the title of Great Man of the Century by the world. This title required all the countries in the world to vote, and it had to be unanimously approved. Only those who were recognized by all the countries in the world and had made outstanding contributions to the world and lived a perfect life could achieve this. Di Lao was fully deserving of this title. He also died without regrets. Hey, are they also from our school? How come I've never seen them before? A cry of surprise came from afar. A few students walking in the school noticed Wang Lan and Wang Lan's golden boy and jade girl. This big sister is so pretty. She shouldn't be from our school, right? If our school had such a pretty person, how could we not know? Is the main point that this big sister is so pretty? Your eyes are clearly staring at her big brother, okay? How could that be? Even if we're both girls, seeing such a pretty big sister would still make our hearts beat. I really want to go up and ask for her number. F***CK? Suddenly, a cry of surprise came from behind the girls. F***CK. Following that, another cry of surprise came. What's wrong with you guys? The girls saw the shocked and dazed expressions of the seniors behind them and were puzzled. That back view can't be wrong. Back then, I was fortunate enough to see that sword chi that trusts heaven and earth. If I'm wrong, I'm willing to stab myself in the eyes. Quickly post it, that man is back. Sorry, I've already posted it. Evil creature die. Seniors, what are you guys talking about? Are the two of them very famous? Are you guys in your first year? We'll be in our second year soon. It's almost been a year. How can you guys not know the most legendary person in the history of our school? Sibu Gakuen of Shanghai, the strongest student in history. He broke through to the Star Sea realm at the age of 19 and became a titled expert in the same year. At the age of 20, he was ranked among the strongest in the world. Half a year ago, he fought against a god by himself and was awarded the title of honorary general by the world, Wang Lan. After saying that, the boy hurriedly covered his ears. As expected, that scream resounded through the sky. Wang Lan, who was strolling around the campus hand in hand with Jiang Xinyu, turned around in confusion. Instantly, from his mental senses, he sensed countless people coming from all directions. Let's go find the dean as soon as possible. We'll come again in the future if we have the chance, Wang Lan said hurriedly. Okay. The two of them twisted and disappeared in an instant. Where are they? Didn't I say they were here? It's all your fault. You've scared everyone away. Chapter 641. The current dean of Shanghai Sibu Gakuen was Dean Li. Although Dean Li had been parachuted in 3 years ago, he was a medical awakened from the Jade State's Takashi Hoshi. He was worthy of being the dean of Shanghai Sibu Gakuen. So many years have passed in the blink of an eye? I didn't expect you guys to graduate. It's been 3 years, Dean Li said with some emotion. Yes, it feels like yesterday when I first entered the college. Yes, you were still in your first year when I first met you. Your graduation certificates have been prepared a long time ago, and your credits have been completed in your 3rd year. I won't ask you where you will go after graduation. On behalf of the college, I will now officially invite you to be honorary professors of our college. Wang Lan, Jiang Xinyu, what do you think? Wang Lan thought for a while and finally nodded. The so-called honorary professor actually did not have any substantial binding force, as it was just a title in the college. To Wang Lan, the title of honorary professor was not important. However, to Shanghai Sibu Gakuen, having Wang Lan as an honorary professor was very important. Thank you very much, Dean Li said solemnly. The college has nurtured me, so I should do something for the college, even if it's such a trivial thing. In addition to being an honorary professor, I would also like to hire you as the deputy dean. Of course, you will also be affiliated. I won't let you hold any position. Anything is fine. After leaving the college, Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu felt a little depressed. The entire Shanghai Seibu Gakuen gave him a gloomy feeling. This was the Takashi Hoshi's sacred college. When Wang Lan had first entered Shanghai Seibu Gakuen, the overall strength of the fourth-year students had been at the peak of the Galaxy State, and there had been at least 100 Star C-State Takashi Hoshi cultivators. At that time, the third-year students had been at the mid-stage of the Galaxy State, and there had been more than 50 Star C-State cultivators. In the second year, there was a peerless genius like Yu Ruoyun. In the first year, there was still Wang Lan, the strongest monster in history. It could be said that there were many hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Now, Wang Lan's batch was about to graduate. Among the third-year students, there were less than 30 Takashi Hoshi cultivators who had reached the Star Sea realm. Among the first-year students, there was not even a single person who had reached the late-stage Galaxy realm, let alone breaking through to the Star Sea realm. Their overall strength was much worse than it had been 3 years ago, especially in this year's batch, which was about to usher in the freshman season. The general situation in Takashi Hoshi high schools nationwide was not optimistic. Although the overall strength was still at the same level as before, the number of stunning monstrous students had decreased significantly. This was the information he received from Dean Li when he was chatting with him. He didn't know if it was because their standards had improved, or if the quality of the new Takashi Hoshi students in the past 2 years wasn't that good. Back at the Phoenix Plaza, Jiang Xinyu took out all kinds of unopened shopping bags from her space. Wang Lan's house was 500 square meters, but Jiang Xinyu had actually spread them all over the place. There was almost no place to stay. "You're enjoying the pleasure of opening the bags?" Wang Lan looked at the busy Jiang Xinyu, his eyes full of curiosity. "Wait!" Wang Lan suddenly stopped Jiang Xinyu's hand. "What is this thing? A doo-doo?" Looking at the red cloth in Jiang Xinyu's hand, Wang Lan's eyes gradually curved into an arch bridge. "What are you thinking? Do you think I can wear such a small model?" Yes, no problem. Even if it's a mask." Suddenly, Wang Lan's words stopped, and that ice-cold murderous aura disappeared without a trace. "Xinyu, are those children's clothes in your hand? Who did you buy them for?" Wang Lan squatted on the side and asked curiously. He didn't remember which relative in Xinyu's family had a child. Of course, it was too far away for Wang Lan to know. "My cousin's child was born. I bought them for my nephew." Jiang Xinyu quickly put them away, and then continued to open the packaging. To put it bluntly, the things piled up in her house were worth at least tens of millions. Many of the clothes were worth at least 10,000, not to mention the luxury bags, gold, silver, and jewelry. This was the result of a year of carrying out missions while fighting with CSCC all over the world. The capitalists were blatantly showing off. "Right, Cece's birthday is coming soon." Wang Lan raised his head. He only remembered that CSCC's birthday was in spring, but he didn't know the exact time. "You didn't forget, right? Or you don't remember?" Jiang Xinyu had an exaggerated expression, and finally slapped herself in the face. "Then do you remember my birthday? Isn't that obvious? I've remembered your birthday since I was young." Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu had known each other since they were young. He still remembered one time when he forgot to buy her a birthday present and was beaten up by the 4-year-old Jiang Xinyu. At that time, Jiang Xinchen, who hadn't been weaned yet, was so happy that she clapped. He couldn't bear to look back on the past. Sure enough, a man can be trusted. "Take it, this is the present I picked for you." Jiang Xinyu casually tossed a jewelry box over. Wang Lan curiously opened it, and immediately shivered in fright. Inside the jewelry box was a diamond ring. At that moment, cold sweat began to drip down his temples. "What's wrong? Is it hot?" "It's almost May, indeed, it's a bit hot." "What do you think of this birthday present? Does it look good? Are you sure?" This is a birthday present, Wang Lan asked weakly. Or else what? Jiang Xinyu rolled her eyes in annoyance. Forget it, I'll just pick another one when the time comes. Pick what? Takashi Hoshi? Cece doesn't lack Takashi Hoshi now. She's learned everything she can. If she can't learn it, it's useless even if you give it to her. Just give her this. Look, this is the birthday present I picked for her. What do you think? Jiang Xinyu immediately interrupted Wang Lan's words. She took out a long cheongsam from a fat bag. It was bright red and exquisite. If she added a phoenix coronet and a red cape, it could be worn directly as a wedding dress. Isn't it a bit too gaudy? Wang Lan's mouth twitched slightly as he asked. That depends on who is wearing it. It's tacky on me, but it's beautiful on Cece. You know, I've seen Cece wear it before. I can tell that Cece likes it a lot. Do you know how much it costs? 1 million. Every stitch on it is handmade. There's no other one like it in the world. After we leave, I'll get someone to buy it. It'll be a surprise for Cece. Are you sure she'll want it? Of course she will. Why are you standing there? Help me open it. Oh, okay. We've graduated, but the new department hasn't been set up yet. What should we do during this time? I don't know. Just wait for orders. Why don't we go back to Sioux City? I haven't been back in a long time. I'll listen to you. When it came to trivial matters, Wang Lan unconditionally listened to Jiang Xinyu's arrangements. 2 days later, Wang Lan teleported to Sioux City with Jiang Xinyu. As soon as he returned to Sioux City, he received a call from his aunt. The X-gene medicine had been successfully developed. His aunt would be back in 2 days to discuss the production of the X-gene medicine. He hadn't seen his aunt for almost 2 years. Of course, Wang Lan was very surprised. Halfway through the conversation, the phone was snatched away by Song Jia. Brother, your dear sister is coming back. Prepare snacks and good food for me in advance. I remember that you're 14 years old, right? The middle school exams are coming up, right? You still want to eat and eat? Aren't you afraid of losing your figure? Brother, have you forgotten that I've awakened as a Takashi Hoshi? Are there any fat Takashi Hoshi? Speaking of Takashi Hoshi, do you know what Hu Feifei's strength is now? Early stage galaxy realm. We used to hold hands and go to school together. Will it be awkward the next time we meet? Humph, I know you want to mock me, but I don't care. So what if I'm in the early stage galaxy realm? Who doesn't have a galaxy realm cultivator? With that arrogant tone, Wang Lan could almost see a young girl with her head tilted up proudly and her tail wriggling like a snake. You're already in the galaxy realm? That doesn't make sense. You've only awakened 2 years ago, okay? That means that I'm a peerless genius. Don't tell me you've consumed a lot of soul pearls. I've told you many times that soul pearls can help improve your strength, but you can't overuse them. It'll be too late to regret it if your foundation becomes unstable. Do you think I'm stupid? Although I often consume soul pearls, I guarantee that the amount is within the limits of science. Forget it. You won't believe me even if I tell you over the phone. You can check for yourself when you come back in 2 days. I would have checked even if you hadn't mentioned it. Let's not talk about it anymore. Tell me the time of your flight and I'll pick you up at the airport. It's not confirmed yet. I'll tell you when it's confirmed. After sending Jiang Xinyu home, Wang Lan stayed until they had dinner at Jiang Xinyu's house. As for staying the night, don't even think about it. Wang Lan had been kicked out of the house by Jiang Xinyu. At night, Sioux City was still as brightly lit as ever. The prosperous streets and the splendid city were the civilization that Wang Lan swore to protect. In Sioux City, Wang Lan not only had a home, but he also had friends. Su Xianwen would be back in 2 days. When Hu Qing knew that Wang Lan was back, he immediately invited Wang Lan to visit his new home. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Wang Lan arrived at Hu Qing's neighborhood on time. From a few hundred meters away, he saw Hu Qing smoking at the entrance of the neighborhood. When he saw Wang Lan, Hu Qing quickly put out his cigarette and strode over to greet him. When did you change your house? Wang Lan and Hu Qing put their arms around each other's shoulders and followed Hu Qing into the neighborhood. I bought it last year. I've only lived there for a month. This neighborhood isn't cheap, right? It's okay. The average price is only 70,000. Brother Hu, do you still remember when we went to catch little teacher Chui? It's been almost 5 years, right? I remember, if it wasn't for you, I would still be a small guard at that time. The reason why I could be promoted so quickly was because of the few meritorious deeds that you brought me. At that time we also talked about the housing price. At that time you said 50,000 per square meter. That was a sky-high price. Now it hasn't even been 5 years. You said 70,000 per square meter. Cough, cough, cough. I can't help it. Who asked me to be your sister Lingling's sugar baby? If it weren't for you, I might have been pushed into a pit, let alone being a guard. The grass on my grave is already tall. It was you who made me a guard. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't have known Lingling and wouldn't be where I am now. Although it's only been 5 years, to me, it's like going from hell to heaven. While they were talking, the elevator opened. Hu Qing pressed the button. When he opened the door, Hu Qing's wife was waiting at the elevator entrance. Beside her stood a girl with a delicate face. She was so beautiful that she seemed to have walked out of a painting. Sister Lingling. Wang Lan held the gift in his hand in front of Sister Lingling. By the way, who is this? Brother Lan. The girl at the side suddenly pouted and called out unhappily. Feifei? Wang Lan was stunned. Chapter 642. He didn't expect Feifei to put on makeup today, nor did he expect a girl to change so much after putting on makeup. It was no wonder. The last time he saw Feifei was 2 years ago. At Hu Feifei's age, the difference between 2 years was like heaven and earth. 2 years ago, Feifei's height only reached Wang Lan's chest. Now, she was over his shoulders. 2 years ago, Feifei was still a little girl. At most, she was just a little lotus. But now, after putting on makeup, she didn't look like a child at all. After being teased by Wang Lan, Hu Feifei stomped her feet in anger. Brother Lan, did you really forget about me or are you just teasing me? No. It's just that Feifei is so beautiful today that I didn't recognize her. Your sister-in-law taught her how to put on makeup. She said that Feifei is already 15 and that girls should learn how to put on makeup. I couldn't argue with them. What's the point of putting on makeup? Looks are given to you by your parents. What's the point of putting on makeup if even your parents can't recognize you? What do you mean? Lingling glared at him and scolded in a low voice. Nothing. I just think that looks are innate and that beauty should be fought for. She was kneeling down faster than expected. Feifei is about to take her middle school exams, right? Is she busy with her studies? It's not the weekend today, right? Is she not in school? She is now free to go. If she wants to go to school, she will go. If she doesn't want to go, she won't go. Hu Qing picked up his wine glass and clinked it with Wang Lan's. Feifei got 7th in the city for the last mock exam. She's a Takashi Hoshi and has already received the acceptance letter from the Takashi Hoshi school. Sioux City Ijong. I haven't heard this name in a long time. Oh right, Feifei Jia is coming back in 2 days. Really? Feifei's eyes shone with surprise. Jia awakened her Takashi Hoshi talent. I thought she would go to Cebu Gakuen with me. I didn't expect her to leave in the end. I haven't contacted her in 2 years. I don't know what she's become. It can't be helped. She can't talk to you. If you want to talk about changes. Jia's hair. I've cut my hair short so I look fresh and capable. Moreover, Jia's strength had improved very quickly. She had said that she had also broken through to the galaxy realm. Who knew how many cheats she had used? If I find out that she relied on soul orbs to level up to Takashi Hoshi, she'll be in for it. Wang Lan's eyes flashed with interest as he looked at Hu Feifei, whose hair had already reached her back. Back then, the Song Jia had long beautiful hair. This had always been his aunt's idea. Girls should have long hair that fluttered in the wind. In the beginning, Hu Feifei was bald, but later on, she always had short hair. After 2 years, Hu Feifei's long hair was already flowing in the wind. However, Song Jia had cut off all her hair. In Song Jia's words, her hair was considered long in the base, probably due to the influence of military training. The other boys all had buzz cut. As the night deepened, the banquet came to an end. Wang Lan couldn't resist Hu Qing's enthusiasm and drank 2 more bottles. In the end, the 2 men exploded and chugged down the bottles of liquor. In the end, Hu Qing spat out a mouthful of liquor and collapsed on the sofa, unconscious. Sorry, Sister Lingling. I couldn't control myself for a moment. Wang Lan scratched his head and smiled sheepishly. His mind was still clear, but his footsteps were a little shaky. It's already very late, so I'll take my leave first. Sorry for the trouble. Don't treat me like an outsider. Besides, old Hu was the one who kept urging him to drink. It had nothing to do with you. When he wakes up, I'll teach him a lesson. How could he get drunk by urging others to drink? Feifei, send Wang Lan off. Okay, Hu Feifei replied sweetly and reached out to grab Wang Lan's arm. I'm not that drunk yet. There's no need for that. Usually, drunk people say that they're not drunk. Who told you that? That's what they say on TV. That's definitely fake. People who can still talk are definitely clear-headed. The ones who are really drunk are like your brother. They fall asleep as soon as they hit the ground. That's why you girls have to be vigilant at all times. Don't believe the excuses of boys when they're drunk. No matter what they do, those who are really drunk can't do anything. Those who can do something are definitely not drunk. Wang Lan talked to himself as he walked further and further away with Hu Feifei's arm in arm. One person chattered endlessly, while the other lowered her head and listened silently. Hu Feifei's ears gradually turned red. Although it was very warm during the day, the temperature at night was still very low. A gust of cold wind brushed past his face, and Wang Lan's mind suddenly became clear. He raised his head and looked around. How did we get here? Huh! Hu Feifei was also confused. Originally, she had only come down to send Wang Lan off. Unexpectedly, after sending him out of the neighborhood, Hu Feifei started walking along the street lamps with Wang Lan. Unknowingly, they had walked half a circle around the neighborhood. The feeling of only the 2 of them strolling like a couple made Hu Feifei very addicted. As she grew older, Hu Feifei's mind gradually became clearer. She could already face her own heart and her own feelings. All this time, she had been hiding someone in her heart. Even if this person could only hide in her heart for a lifetime. Not everyone could give her a life. Other than her parents, Brother Lan was the only one who could do that. 2 years ago, Brother Lan showed a trace of distance, which made the astute Hu Feifei suddenly realize something. And it was at the age of youth that Hu Feifei's heart suddenly became uncontrollable. When my hair reaches my waist, will you marry me? Time passes slowly, and there are always no words. As long as you are safe, the sky will be clear. Taxi. Wang Lan suddenly waved his hand, and a taxi smoothly stopped beside Wang Lan. Feifei, hurry up and go back. It's too late. Your sister-in-law will be worried. Oh, then Brother Lan should be careful too. Let's go back, Wang Lan said as he got into the car. When Wang Lan came, he flew over, but now he couldn't fly back. He couldn't drive after drinking, and he couldn't take off after drinking. 3 days later, Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu drove the Mustang that he hadn't driven in a long time to the airport's underground parking lot. Auntie's flight would arrive at Fengshui Airport at 10 o'clock sharp. At 10:10, a wave of passengers poured out of the departure area. Auntie, who was dressed like a city beauty, and Song Jia, who was wearing a baseball cap and casual sportswear, stood out among the crowd. Wang Lan recognized the 2 of them at a glance. Auntie here. Ha! Suddenly, Song Jia's figure in front of him flashed and disappeared. Wang Lan turned around abruptly, and his hand grabbed the air behind him. Behind Wang Lan, a figure appeared. Wang Lan easily grabbed Song Jia's ankle. "This is impossible. This doesn't make sense," Song Jia shouted with a face full of disbelief. "How did you find me? Even the Star Sea Realm Takashi Hoshi in the base couldn't find me with my invisibility technique. How did you find me?" Song Jia's invisibility technique was very high. When he had just awakened, even Wang Lan, who had the strength of a titled warrior, couldn't find Song Jia. Although Wang Lan's strength was no longer the same as before, Song Jia was no longer the new Takashi Hoshi, who had just awakened and couldn't even control his innate ability. Song Jia, of course, had his reasons. Next to Wang Lan stood a perception-type Takashi Hoshi, who was at the late stage of the Star Sea Realm. Jiang Xinyu didn't even notice Song Jia, and Wang Lan actually grabbed Song Jia's foot. "My stupid sister, you're still too young. In front of my eyes, you have nowhere to hide," Wang Lan's low voice sounded. His eyes instantly turned blood red, and two big pinwheels slowly rotated in his eyes. This. Song Jia looked at Wang Lan's eyes in shock, and his eyes were deeply intoxicated. "What beautiful contact lenses! Where did you buy them?" Jia, how old are you? Why are you still like a child? Can't you be more stable? You're jumping up and down. You don't look the same." Wang Qi came in front of Wang Lan, took off her sunglasses, and said angrily. When Wang Lan returned to Sioux City, the Heavenly Sword Bureau was supposed to arrange for a full escort. But when they found out that Wang Lan was going to the airport to pick him up, the arrangement was immediately cancelled. What a joke! What was there to worry about with Wang Lan escorting him? "Hello Aunt Qi, Jia is already so tall." Jiang Xinyu took Wang Qi's luggage, and with a flick of her wrist, put it into her spatial equipment. Song Jia looked at her with envy. "Spatial equipment is so good. My mom is too stingy. She won't buy one for me." "You haven't gone to university yet. What do you need spatial equipment for?" Wang Qi shouted. Jia, if you like it, I'll give you one." "Really? Xinyu, don't spoil her. She's getting more and more wild. I can't control her anymore. The more you spoil her, the more she'll dare to do anything to you." "It's okay. It's made by my family anyway. Spatial equipment isn't a mobile game. Takashi Hoshi should have their own spatial equipment. It'll be more convenient to go out in the future." After the four of them got in the car, Wang Lan stepped on the gas and drove out of the airport. No one had lived in the house for a long time. After knowing that his aunt was coming back, Wang Lan immediately called the cleaning company to do a big cleaning of the house. The bedding and everything were all changed. My bedroom, my bed. My doll. I miss it so much." Song Jia jumped on the bed as soon as he got home and hugged the doll. That time when he left in a hurry, Song Jia didn't have time to take a lot of things with him. In that case, he wasn't allowed to take it away. "Lan, I'll be very busy for the next 2 days. Please take care of Jia. Remember, don't spoil her. Also, you have to train every day." This is the schedule that Jia's teacher made for her. Wang Qi took out all kinds of things from the luggage, and suddenly put a schedule in front of Wang Lan. This schedule. Wang Lan took it and looked at it. He couldn't help but frown deeply. "Brother, you can see it too, right? My group of teachers are simply destroying the teenagers and children. From 7 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the evening, they only have an hour to rest and eat. I've been there for 2 years. Brother, do you know how I've been living these 2 years? It's simply dark. Brother, you have to make a decision for me." Speaking of the schedule, Song Jia immediately threw himself on the sofa and complained to Wang Lan in a heart-wrenching voice. It was the kind of voice that made people cry. "This schedule isn't tight enough." Song Jia looked at Wang Lan in shock. He pointed at Wang Lan with a trembling finger. His face was full of grief and indignation. He was speechless. Chapter 643. In the Heavenly Sword Bureau's underground training ground, the figures of two young girls flashed like flowing lights. Wang Lan stood outside the arena, crossing his arms as he observed the exchange between the two girls, not letting any detail escape his eyes. Song Jia's fighting style leaned towards flexibility and flexibility. His yin and yang talent evolved into the 5 elements, allowing Song Jia to use Takashi Hoshi techniques of any attribute. Furthermore, his yin and yang talent could derive all kinds of innate abilities that ordinary people could not imagine. After the careful guidance of a Wudong expert, Song Jia had a very deep understanding of yin and yang, Tao, and the 5 elements. If Song Jia's technique was a coincidence, then Hu Feifei's technique was a force to be reckoned with. This was the paradox of all-roundness and specialization. If Song Jia's technique was ever-changing, using his yin and yang talent as the core to derive all kinds of techniques, then Hu Feifei's technique was pushing her astral power and innate talent to the extreme. In Wang Lan's eyes, Hu Feifei's innate talent was already the peak of all evildoers. Her innate talent was not simply bone control. What was truly frightening was her extraordinary astral power. Her astral power would increase explosively as her cultivation level increased. Secondly, Hu Feifei had an extremely high astral power control and sufficient willpower. Extraordinary astral power was an innate talent, while astral power control was an ability. Willpower determined the height a person could reach. Even though the Immortal Cloud Mystic Azure record was already popular and was a compulsory cultivation technique for new Takashi Hoshi cultivators, reaching the Galaxy Realm at the age of 15 was extremely rare. Furthermore, this was under the premise that Hu Feifei suppressed her breakthrough and focused on building a solid foundation. In the beginning, Wang Lan was more inclined to believe that Hu Feifei would win this match, and that she would win by an overwhelming margin. After all, Hu Feifei had awakened almost 2 years earlier than Song Jia. Hu Feifei's innate talent was very high and she cultivated very hard. Even if Song Jia's innate talent was outstanding, he would not be able to catch up to Hu Feifei's 4 years of hard work in just 2 years. However, Wang Lan's thoughts were now shaken. What the Song Jia gave Wang Lan was not a surprise but a fright. Song Jia used facts to prove that, with the help of resources, a genius could really do whatever he wanted and create miracles. It had only taken him 2 years to break through to the Galaxy Realm. The last person to achieve this was Wang Lan. Of course, Song Jia's generation was completely different from Wang Lan's generation. Song Jia had the Immortal Cloud Mystic Record and the Soul Pearl as 2 sources of star power. Originally, he thought that such a quick upgrade would cause Song Jia's astral power to be impure and that there would be problems in controlling it. But in fact, there was no problem with Song Jia's astral power control. He didn't have as much astral power reserves as Hu Feifei did, but Song Jia's control over his astral power wasn't inferior at all. Although Hu Feifei could crush Song Jia's close combat strength, he had all kinds of strange and ever-changing Takashi Hoshi techniques and the ability to appear and disappear unpredictably. Even if he faced Hu Feifei head-on, Song Jia still had the gift of immense strength. Song Jia, who was at the Galaxy Realm, could create a 3-meter-wide crater with a single punch. Collapsing a building with a single punch was no joke. Earth Technique, Earth River Chariot. Song Jia suddenly formed a seal with both hands. An earth wall turned into a swimming snake and slammed towards Hu Feifei. Hu Feifei's 5 fingers closed together and lightning gathered in her palms. The dense lightning formed a straight thunder blade. Boom! The Earth River Chariot and the thunder blade collided fiercely. The Earth Dragon was split in half by the thunder blade. Hu Feifei quickly ran towards Song Jia. Song Jia's hands, which were forming a seal, trembled violently. His expression became even more serious. "These 2 kids are really incredible," Zhang Yeqiu, who was dressed in a capable suit, said faintly as she crossed her arms. "Even if Xiao Shui and I join forces, we wouldn't be able to beat them. They are only 15 years old. When I was in Shanghai, I suspected that the Takashi Hoshi in Jade State had started to decline. When I returned to Sioux City, I realized that the past 3 years had only slowed down a little. The younger generation in Sioux City is several levels higher than when I was young. In this batch of high school freshmen, there are 4 galaxy realms. There are less than 500 students in 12 classes, and 10% of them are Nebula or above. In the past, anyone who could break through to Nebula before graduating from high school was a genius among geniuses. Like the Yangtze River, the younger generation pushes the older generation. The older generation dies on the beach. This way, our country can become stronger and stronger. Who do you think will win? Li Go asked curiously. It's hard to tell who's better. If it's a competition, Jia Jia will win. If it's a battle of life and death, Fei Fei will definitely be the one who survived. Stop. After a fierce battle that lasted for half an hour, Wang Lan stopped them. If they continued fighting, both of them would be injured. Fei Fei, you're amazing. Ever since I comprehended the yin-yang transformation, I've been invincible among my peers in the Western Reserve. None of those kids can fight. This time, I used all my strength, but I still couldn't beat you. Jia Jia is indeed a genius. You can tie with me in just 2 years. I cultivated for 4 years to reach this level. Big brother Lan, what's my next cultivation direction? Hu Feifei hurriedly skipped over to Wang Lan's side. Hose before brothers, Song Jia pouted and walked over to Wang Lan with his head resting on his head. Your foundation is already very solid. The next thing you need to do is improve your lethality. In other words, you need to be able to kill with one blow. Lethality is the only thing that widens the gap between Takashi Hoshi and you. Let me give you an example. Takashi Hoshi is also at the Star Sea Realm, but Sinyu can instantly kill 10 Star Sea Realm cultivators of the same level. They're both at the Star Sea Realm, but after a tough battle, they have to rely on a more solid foundation and a slightly better strategy to kill each other. Takashi Hoshi is at the same level, but the difference in strength is like heaven and earth. Who doesn't know that? But why don't you allow me to cultivate high-level Takashi Hoshi techniques? Song Jia asked, unconvinced. Being far ahead of your peers depends on lethality and combat strength. If you want to be far ahead in history and era, you need a solid foundation. Takashi Hoshi's level doesn't seem to be important in front of geniuses, but in the end, you'll realize that Takashi Hoshi's level is more important than anything else. As long as your potential hasn't been exhausted, as long as you can continue to improve, your strength won't reach the peak. No matter how talented a Star Sea Realm cultivator is, he won't be a match for a Star Soul Realm cultivator. As for how far Takashi Hoshi's level can go, it's determined by the foundation you've laid at the beginning. All-rounders aren't necessarily strong, but the strong are definitely all-rounders. All-rounders mean that they have no shortcomings, are balanced in all aspects, and have no obvious flaws or loopholes. In terms of physical techniques, astral power control, Takashi Hoshi's level, basic combat strength, and other aspects, you've already reached the elite Star Sea Realm level. This means that your foundation is very solid. Today, I plan to teach you 2 Takashi Hoshi techniques, one for each of you. Only one for each of us. Song Jia was immediately unhappy. Brother, you're still a top expert in the world, and you've mastered dozens of S-rank and beyond S-rank Takashi Hoshi technique. You can't be so stingy. Oh? You don't have much ability, but you talk big. You think one Takashi Hoshi technique is too little? Let me tell you, if you can master this Takashi Hoshi technique, I guarantee that you'll be able to do whatever you want in the future. After hearing Wang Lan's words, even the people from the Heavenly Sword Bureau were full of anticipation, let alone the 2 children. Wang Lan took a step forward and came to Hu Feifei's side. Feifei, I'll teach you this technique that I've recently developed. With a thought in my body, I'll turn it into divine thunder. With my will, I'll punish on behalf of the heavens." As he spoke, he raised his arm, and a mournful electric arc flashed between his body. This technique had 5 different forms, and it was a Takashi Hoshi technique that could change both form and attribute to the extreme. Thunder strike. Boom! Wang Lan's figure disappeared in an instant, and in the blink of an eye, he appeared in an open space hundreds of meters away. This is Baidi's Thunder God Incarnation technique. I've extracted the most exquisite part of the technique and lowered the difficulty of cultivating this Takashi Hoshi technique without reducing the speed. Thunder net. Boom! Wang Lan's body instantly propped up a thunder net with a diameter of 100 meters. In the electric net, microelectrons were everywhere, and each microelectron could shoot out a thunder blade. In the field of thunder net, nothing could survive, not even a speck of dust. Thunderbird. The thunder net exploded in an instant, turning into countless thunderbirds. The thunderbirds were as fast as lightning, and they were like sword chi that could be controlled at will, hitting wherever he wanted. The problem was that the 3 consecutive forms of the Takashi Hoshi technique, which was suitable for completely different environments and terrains, were still only one type of Takashi Hoshi technique. Since it was the same type of Takashi Hoshi technique, there was naturally no such thing as a Takashi Hoshi technique interval, and Takashi Hoshi technique could be changed instantly. With these 3 sets working together, who the F*CK would be able to withstand it? Everyone's mouths were wide open, and their faces were full of shock. More Celestial Sword Special Service members broke out in cold sweat, dripping down their foreheads. Thunder body. Suddenly, Wang Lan's body exploded, instantly turning into 3 people, and each of the 3 people was like a ghost, instantly changing position and flashing. Seeing this scene, everyone's face changed. This was not as simple as a simple clone, but the ability to move in an area in an instant, a movement that was above Thunder Eclipse. Thunder Eclipse was suitable for rushing and rapid dodging, and this move was directly like Wang Lan's Dance of Hell's butterfly to kill in a flash. The last change, Thunder Punishment. Wang Lan's 3 thunder shadows disappeared, and a terrifying thunder pressure was wrapped around his arm. Then, with a point of his finger, a thunder sword instantly shot out. Rumble, not far away, a huge gap with a diameter of 50 meters was instantly blasted out by this thunder sword, and the gap stretched as far as the eye could see. Gulp, everyone swallowed hard, and the shock in their hearts could not be any greater. Was this Wang Lan's true strength? No wonder he could fight against the terrifying existence of the gods with a mortal body. So powerful! Brother, why don't you teach me this move? Because you can't learn it. Huh! After being stunned for a second, Song Jia suddenly jumped. Why do you say that I can't learn it? Why? Do you have such rich astral power? I don't. Don't worry, the move I'm going to teach you won't be weaker than this. The Takashi Hoshi skill I taught you is based on the 5-colored phoenix form. It's specially developed for your full attribute system. With that, Wang Lan took a deep breath again. 5-colored divine light. A 5-colored light instantly gushed out from Wang Lan's body, and the astral power behind him slowly spread out, turning into a pair of gorgeous butterfly wings. Chapter 644. The moment the colorful butterfly wings unfurled, the beauty of breaking out of the cocoon immediately filled Song Jia's eyes with little stars. Regardless of whether this Takashi Hoshi was powerful or not, just this beauty alone was enough for her to say yes to 10,000 times in her heart. But was the Takashi Hoshi technique Wang Lan used just beautiful? Of course not. This was a multicolored light produced by the collision of the 5 elements. Yin and Yang turned into the 5 elements, but the combination of the 5 elements was not as simple as Yin and Yang. Yin and Yang could create and destroy all things. In the multicolored light, any matter will be torn apart by the mutual suppression of the 5 elements. I also call this butterfly transformation mode the invincible mode. How long you can maintain the invincible mode depends on your star power cultivation, but even if it's only for an instant, you can still destroy the world. As he spoke, Wang Lan's figure flashed, and countless colorful butterflies flashed in a 1-kilometer radius. In the butterfly transformation mode, any of your 5-element Takashi Hoshi techniques can undergo a transformation in form and attribute. If you master the fusion of star power attributes with this move, you can kill a Star Sea Realm Takashi Hoshi as easily as cutting vegetables. As Wang Lan's voice fell, the metal, wood, water, fire, and earth Takashi Hoshi techniques poured down like a torrential downpour. The hard ground under their feet suddenly rippled like the surface of the sea being wrinkled by a gust of wind. In an instant, the hard rock structure on the surface of the ground turned into powder under the violent bombardment. Amazing! Hu Feifei sighed with envy. How could girls of this age be content with what they had? When they saw something good, they couldn't wait to have it all for themselves. Wang Lan could have imparted the 2 Takashi Hoshi techniques to them, and even taught them everything he had learned in his life, but he couldn't learn them. People's experience was limited. As the saying went, if you don't walk the path to heaven, the sea of learning is boundless. There were 2 Takashi Hoshi techniques. If one could master either of them well, they would be able to reach the top of the world. After imprinting the cultivation methods, difficulties, and techniques of the 2 Takashi Hoshi techniques into the minds of Song Jia and Hu Feifei, he left the 2 children to comprehend on their own. Wang Lan, Li Gu, and the other higher-ups of the Heavenly Sword Bureau went to chat. 2 years had passed, and the Heavenly Sword Bureau was no longer what it used to be. Other than Li Gu, Zhang Yeqiu and her sister, most of the people in the Heavenly Sword Bureau had been transferred away. The Heavenly Sword Bureau was listed as one of the key branches. Its level was only half a level lower than the Jinling and Shanghai Heavenly Sword Bureau. Its overall strength was definitely stronger. Li Gu was the head of the operations department with his late-stage galaxy cultivation, while Zhang Yeqiu and Zhang Xiaoxue were in charge of the intelligence department. Wang Qianfeng and the others had been transferred to other prefecture-level cities to be in charge. Wang Lan had been able to execute the techniques so easily, and the power had been so gratifying. However, Song Jia and Hu Feifei finally understood that any powerful Takashi Hoshi technique was very difficult to cultivate. It was powerful, and it was easy to learn? How could there be such a good thing in the world? After cultivating for a few hours, they didn't even have a clue how to get started. The 2 of them entered the comprehension mode at almost the same time and smiled bitterly at each other. I don't know if I'll be able to successfully execute it in my lifetime. It should be possible, right? After that, the 2 children didn't bother Wang Lan for a while. Jiang Xinyu also found some time after dealing with Jiang Xinchen. The 2 of them were like normal lovers, shopping, watching movies, and going out for barbecues and picnics with Su Xiangwen and the others. Their days were like fish in water. Wang Qi was busy for almost 10 days before finalizing all the details. After finalizing the details, she had to go back to the research institute in the West to continue her own research. In her aunt's words, she was finally able to do what she loved. Although she had been involved in research before, she still had a technology company to maintain. Especially when she was developing life potions, she had to worry a lot about maintaining the company's survival. Now, she didn't have to worry about the company's operations at all. She only needed to devote herself to the business of life genetic. If she ran out of money, she could just go to the company to get some money to continue her research. Her aunt's biotechnology company and Takashi Hoshi vaccine company could make money faster than a bank's money printing machine. Lan, you've already graduated. Do you have any plans? At the family dinner, her aunt asked Wang Lan leisurely as she ate steamed egg. Of course, but I'm not ready yet, so I don't have anything to do for now. I saw you and Xinyu when I passed by Jiada the day before yesterday. Oh, I went to watch a movie with her. In the past, I didn't have time to go shopping or watch movies. Now that I have time, I want to relax. Who knows if I'll still have time when a new job comes. How far have you two reached? When he asked this, Wang Lan was stunned. This question was really not easy to answer. How far? Wasn't it a little too much of a scumbag to leave after eating? How long have you been together? About. Wang Lan rubbed his chin. It was hard to say. 3 years. You two grew up together and know each other's personalities. I'm not worried that you won't get along. As for you, although you're young, you're mature and know how to give in. I don't have to worry about you two being together. Since you've both graduated, why don't you take this time to get married? Cough, cough, cough. Before Wang Lan could cough, Song Jiaxian beside her started coughing violently. Married? Wang Lan is getting married? What's so surprising about that? Isn't it the legal age to get married? Moreover, the two of them have a good relationship foundation. Isn't marriage a matter of course? Auntie, why are you so sudden? Sudden? Or have the two of you never considered this problem? You know the current situation better than I do. No one knows how far human civilization can go in the end. If your relationship is about right and you feel that you can live like this for the rest of your life, then get married. There's no point in dragging it out. I'll think about it. Wang Lan didn't avoid the question and answered it directly. Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu walked along the shore of Clear Lake, and the gazes of the passing tourists all fell on this beautiful couple. Let's take a break, Jiang Xinyu said as she pulled Wang Lan to sit on a chair by the lake. What's wrong with you today? You look like you have something on your mind. Yesterday I had dinner with Auntie. Auntie mentioned a problem that I couldn't avoid and had to face directly. Wang Lan looked into Jiang Xinyu's eyes and said seriously. What? She asked when I'm getting married? Jiang Xinyu's body couldn't help but tense up. And then, what did you say? I said I had to discuss it with you. What's there to discuss with me? Auntie is urging you to get married. Speaking of this, Jiang Xinyu's voice became less confident. Suddenly, she burst into laughter. You're embarrassing me. Did I make you look bad? You're the one who's stupid, okay? If I don't discuss it with you, who am I going to discuss it with? I'm going to get married with you, so I want to hear your opinion. I really haven't considered marriage, but since Auntie mentioned it, it will definitely be mentioned more and more in the future. This year, it's your auntie. Next year, it might be my mother. The year after that, it'll probably be your 7th aunt and 8th aunt. It doesn't seem good to get married right after graduation. Why don't we work for 3 years? 3 years later, we'll both be 25 years old. It won't be too late to get married then. Okay, I'll listen to you. Beep, beep, beep. At this moment, Wang Lan's phone suddenly rang. He took out his phone and his expression changed. Is there a mission? It's CEO Jean. Then, he pressed the answer button. Hello, CEO Jean? Wang Lan, I'm sorry to interrupt your date with Xinyu again. Why did you say it when you already knew? Wang Lan's military rank was now that of a general. He was at the peak of the military rank in the country. However, he could only complain in his heart. His face showed that he definitely didn't want to. I'm in the cafe diagonally across from you. Xinyu, come with me. Okay, we'll be right there. He stood up with Jiang Xinyu and walked to the cafe diagonally across from them. In the cafe, he saw CEO Jean dressed casually and wearing a pair of cool sunglasses. CEO Jean, is there a mission? It's not a big operation mission. It's just that this matter is a little strange. Everyone recognizes your ability. Since you're free anyway, I decided to give it to you. What mission? Head to Huzhou province to investigate the disappearance of the deputy director of the Heavenly Sword Bureau. Disappeared? A deputy director of the Heavenly Sword Bureau disappeared? The kind where no one knows if he's alive or dead. Yes, you can find out the details from the locals when you get to Huzhou. Okay, when do we leave? As soon as possible. Just the two of us, or are we bringing along Su Xiangwen and Xie? I have other plans for the two of them. You two will go this time. Also, do it as soon as possible. If you don't have any leads in a month, come back. Okay. There were no unnecessary words. Communication between soldiers was just that simple and direct. Wang Lan was fine by himself. Jiang Xinyu had to inform her family that she was going on a mission. At noon that day, the two of them boarded a plane to Huzhou Province. Huzhou Province was located in the southern part of Jade State. Its area was more than 5 times that of Jiang Province. The mountains were high and the forests were dense. The plains were like stars embedded in the stars. Looking down from the sky, Huzhou Province was like a chessboard with stars scattered all over it. After flying for an hour, the plane slowly landed at the airport. As special agents, Wang Lan and Xie changed into their military uniforms. However, Wang Lan had neglected the fact that his rank as a general had caused a lot of psychological pressure to the airport and even the passengers on the plane. By the time they realized it, it was already inappropriate to change their clothes. Colonel Jiang Xinyu's military rank was already very exaggerated. Wang Lan had 5 stars. Moreover, due to the development of the internet, the netizens of Jade State had developed a pair of discerning eyes. There would always be 1 in 10 people who were proficient in military ranks and symbols. As long as one of them was proficient, everyone around them would know. What kind of concept was a general? There were only 12 in the entire Jade State that had been announced to the public. What kind of joke was this to have such a young general? Moreover, in Jade State, military uniforms could not be worn casually, especially military ranks. Being able to pass the security check and board the plane so openly, it was definitely not fake. The general sitting on the plane was an experienced pilot who had flown for 3,000 hours. This time, he was a little nervous. He stared at the various data in the cockpit, not daring to be careless. Chapter 645. Wu Yao was originally a member of the Heavenly Sword Bureau. He was only 32 years old and had a peak galaxy-grade cultivation base. It could be said that he had a bright future ahead of him. However, the strange thing was that 2 years ago, Wu Yao had applied to be transferred to the superintendent system. For the superintendent system, this was like a phoenix landing in a chicken coop, so Wu Yao was naturally welcomed. Wu Yao was also known as a strong-willed superintendent in Songyue City. As a senior inspector, Wu Yao was the only person who dared to tell the Heavenly Sword Bureau that they should withdraw. The superintendent system would take over this case. Wu Yao has been the director of operations for 6 cities. He is very experienced and strong-willed. However, he was transferred to the superintendent system in the end. I am a little interested in this person. You want to recruit him to the task force? Let's meet him first. Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu headed to Songyue City. In the Heavenly Sword Bureau's task force office, the atmosphere was even more solemn than the day before. The two factions did their own thing and looked at each other vigilantly from time to time. They were afraid that the other party would secretly give them dirt and cause trouble for Wang Lan. Wang Lan's identity was too important. It was so important that they did not even dare to think that a strong dragon could not suppress a local snake. In the past, in the hearts of many members of the Celestial Sword Special Service, the so-called heroes should be existences like the twin dragons of Hu Province. Lu Yusin and Wen Xianghua's life experiences were enough to make anyone gasp in amazement. However, in front of Wang Lan, who would dare to call themselves heroes, Lu Yusin and Wen Xianghua's experiences were like children's play compared to Wang Lan's. With such a fierce dragon crossing the river, the local snake should just obediently lie down. If Zhang Minglin had not suddenly caused a ruckus yesterday, how could Wang Lan have noticed the conflict in the Heavenly Sword Bureau? If they had not caused a ruckus, even if Wang Lan had noticed, he would not have asked. Where there were people, there would be dispute. Where there were disputes, there would be underworld. Wasn't this reasonable? Zhang Minglin's ruckus yesterday had not only caused Wang Lan to have a lot of opinions about the Hu Province Heavenly Sword Bureau, but it had also directly brought the dispute between the two factions to the surface. This was not good for anyone. He panicked in his heart and was afraid that the other party would set him up. Why isn't General Wang here yet? It's almost 10 o'clock. Why are you so impatient to see General Wang? Are you in a hurry to snitch on me? A sarcastic voice sounded. Even if we want to lodge a complaint, we won't report it. We'll report it openly. Stop arguing. Do you want everyone to scram? Bang! Suddenly, the office door was pushed open. Two young girls entered the office and whispered in the ears of the leaders of the two factions. What? Went to Tsangyue City. Xing Yu's face darkened. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something. Damn it, Zhang Minglin. You're going to fight to the death. With that, he stood up and left the office. Went to Blue Moon City? Is this an investigation of what happened 3 years ago? General Wang is indeed General Wang. You're so sharp. The people in Wenxianghua's faction smiled. Only the leader of the group had a gloomy expression on his face. Chief. Not good. Wang Lan went to Blue Moon City. Chief Li Chu pushed open the door of Lu Yusen's office and said anxiously. What did you call him? General Wang. No, Chief, you still have time to care about this? General Wang couldn't have been sent by the higher-ups to deal with us, right? Yes or no, what can you do? Even if he was, what do you want to do? If he wants to slap you, do you dare to fight back? But are we supposed to do nothing? How can we not do anything? Of course, we'll put the other half of our face in front of him and let him slap us. I've told you before that when the higher-ups sent General Wang down, it meant that the higher-ups had lost their patience and weren't in the mood to play games with us. Wang Lan himself is a kind of attitude. But General Wang went to Blue Moon City. He must be investigating what happened to old Zhou 3 years ago. Old Zhou's matter has something to do with you? Lu Yusen asked with a cold gaze. No, it was old Zhou who took the wrong path. However, old Zhou is in the same faction as us. If he really finds out something and insists on putting the blame on us, we won't be able to defend ourselves. Wang Lan isn't Wenxianghua. If you understand Wang Lan's past, you'll understand. Don't doubt that he can't do it, and don't doubt that he can't find the truth. If it has nothing to do with us, then it has nothing to do with us. As long as we have a clear conscience, we won't be afraid of him investigating. However, if you have a guilty conscience, it's better to admit it as soon as possible. If Wang Lan finds out, you'll die either way. But when Xianghua has been insisting on this matter for so many years. Now that he's dead, I'm worried that General Wang will think that we killed him. Be more confident and get rid of the thought. If Wang Lan didn't suspect us, why would he go to Blue Moon City? It's still the same words. If you didn't do it, then let him investigate. If you did, then admit it as soon as possible. Otherwise, I won't be able to protect anyone. While the Heavenly Sword Bureau was discussing Wang Lan's sudden visit to Blue Moon City, Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu had already arrived at the Blue Moon City superintendent. Who are you? What are you doing here? Wang Lan took out his Heavenly Sword Bureau ID. I'm looking for Inspector Wu Yao from the Key Case Investigation Unit. Heavenly Sword Bureau? When did the Heavenly Sword Bureau have the guts to look for our Inspector Wu? There's something wrong with this method. Wang Lan was brought back to reality by this voice. He looked at the receptionist in front of him with a surprised expression. If it was any other place, the Heavenly Sword Bureau's treatment in the superintendent's office was equivalent. Not to mention that he was a general, even if he was a lieutenant, he could meet whoever he wanted. If there was an important matter, the director would have to personally come and greet him. He didn't expect that there would be a day where he would be ridiculed by the superintendent. Is there a problem? No problem. Do you have an appointment? If you don't, I'll book a number for you first. When it's your turn, we'll call to inform you. a series of hurried footsteps suddenly sounded. Wang Lan turned his head and saw a white-haired guard running down the stairs. After seeing Wang Lan, he ran to Wang Lan with a panicked expression. Huzhou Province Blue Moon City Superintendent, Hu Jianqing, greets Your Majesty greed. A beautiful salute with his head raised high, as if he was looking at the sky with his nostrils. The receptionist at the window was stunned for a moment, and his expression instantly turned pale. He suddenly remembered that the military rank in the ID was different from the one he had seen before. It was a very uncommon military rank. As a superintendent, how could the receptionist not know the difference between the ranks? Previously, he really only cared about the 3 words, Heavenly Sword Bureau. In addition, Wang Lan's young appearance was too deceiving. The problem was that he was so handsome. Not only was he so handsome, but he also had such a beautiful girl with him. Jealousy welled up in his heart. When he saw that it was his old enemy, the Heavenly Sword Bureau, he didn't even think about it. However, when the superintendent rushed over to salute him in such a hurry, the guard instantly calmed down. When he lowered his head to take a look, he was so scared that he almost peed his pants. This was AF** King General rank. With trembling hands, he sent Wang Lan's ID out the window. His hands were shaking so hard that they seemed to be equipped with motors. That's it? Where's my appointment number? Just kidding? Your Majesty greed, what's wrong? Did something happen? Nothing. I'm just curious. Have you always been so arrogant toward the Heavenly Sword Bureau? No, we wouldn't dare. The superintendent kept wiping his cold sweat. He glared fiercely at the guard behind the window, who was already drenched in sweat. How did you know I was here? Superintendent, the entrance is equipped with a facial recognition system. You were recognized when you arrived at the entrance, the superintendent quickly said. I see. Is Wu Yao here? I'm looking for him. At this time, he shouldn't be at work yet, right? No, I'll call him over immediately. Your Majesty greed, could you please rest in the conference room? No need. I'll rest in the coffee shop across the street. When Wu Yao arrives, tell him to find me there. After that, Wang Lan turned around and left with Jiang Xinyu. Wang Lan didn't care about this little episode. Wasn't it fun to drink coffee and do something with Xinyu under the table? After about 10 minutes, a middle-aged man in a shirt with a chiseled face and a full beard walked into the coffee shop and looked around. Wang Lan raised his hand and the man strode over. Sit. Thank you, General. You're Wu Yao? Yes, I'm Wu Yao. What can I do for you, General Wang? I'll do my best to fulfill your orders. You used to be the director of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's Operations Division, but you voluntarily applied for a transfer 2 years ago. Can you tell me why? I just felt that working in the Heavenly Sword Bureau was boring. Anyway, it's the same as being a superintendent. It's all about maintaining local law and order, maintaining national security, and protecting national interests. The Heavenly Sword Bureau and the superintendent have the same authority. It's just that the superintendent's abilities are limited and can't do it. You didn't answer my question directly. Wang Lan's imposing manner rose without being angry. Although he had a young face, his imposing manner was like a torrential river. In the past, although the Heavenly Sword Bureau competed with each other, everyone worked together. I don't know when it started, but the Heavenly Sword Bureau started caring about who I'm on and who you're on. If you don't join a faction, does that mean you're disloyal and untrustworthy? The Heavenly Sword Bureau isn't the director's Heavenly Sword Bureau. It's also not Wen Xianghua or Lu Yusin's Heavenly Sword Bureau. I'm a bit hot-tempered. I was angered that day, so I left in a fit of anger. Now, the entire Heavenly Sword Bureau in Huzhou belongs to these 2 factions. I've been away from the Heavenly Sword Bureau for a few years. I really don't know. But since last year, the conflict between the 2 factions has become more intense. Everyone who has some power in their hands has taken side. There's nothing they can do if they don't take sides. Who can stand when the two factions join forces to deal with you? You know what I'm here for, right? To investigate Wen Xianghua's disappearance. That's right, but I'm worried about the people in the Heavenly Sword Bureau. I want to find some helpers to help me. Are you willing? Wu Yao didn't expect Wang Lan to be so direct. Wang Lan's status was high enough. His personal invitation was sincere enough. However, Wu Yao was still a little hesitant. He knew that this matter wasn't as simple as an investigation. He might have to face a huge net that covered the entire Huzhou province. Wang Lan could go on a rampage without fear, but he might die a horrible death if he wasn't careful. Can you give me some time to think about it? Sure. 3 years ago, what's the situation with Zhou Shen in Songyue City's Heavenly Sword Bureau? You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.